You have 68 wins. You cannot 69 Nina.
Hey everyone, it is the center of attention, Brittany Brooks, and you are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Come on over, Sam. I'm being. See, earlier I said something stupid to him, and now this is my receipt. Okay.
Sabu's just sabotaging you.
Yep. He sure did. Yeah, he's taking over.
Hijacking is a better word. You're right.
Good luck.
Shout out to Simply Reliable Studios making their Symphony debut, sponsoring this match and the entire Dragon Kai demonstration.
Heyo, this is Jack Cartwheel. You are watching Simply Reliable Studios.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Noah. I believe in Datula. The Meltzer of the multiverse. Who the fuck wants to compare themselves to another? How much of a mark do you have to be? You couldn't even pick a professional athlete. You went with a fucking journalist? Grow up, man.
We just want to say thank you to Simply Reliable Studios for voting us as Tag Team of the Year.
Of course.
Because you know what they say, right? If you can't swim,
You're bound to drown.
Tonight, she is sponsored by Simply Reliable Studios from Orlando, Florida. She is everybody's favorite BFF, Izzy Marino.
Get it? Got it.
Soak up some sun, get a tan, and hang 10 along the waves of Clearwater Beach, Florida for It's Wednesday. You know what that means. The Tommaso Studios is alive back here once again with another live watch event for AEW Dynamite as we bring you forward tonight into an actual AEW Dynamite breach break from Clearwater Beach, Florida. So welcome everybody once again to Tommaso Studios and welcome into the pre-show discussion. Let's freaking go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back in here once again to the Super Reliable Studios. You know what this is, for I am the Simple Man, the Simple Brand, the voice of for grateful for all things professional wrestling, damn it, and my name is Noel Foster. So thank you all for joining along for the ride tonight with this alternative live watch on event. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Want to dictate the conversation? Super chat, pay by that patch. This is as simple as that. And of course, you can watch along as well with tonight's festivities if you have TBS on your local provider or HBO Max. And for those that have other, of course, forms internationally. Shout out to the fan in the chat and everybody watching across on the X and all platforms here represented by the social media here at the Survival Studios. If you haven't already, subscribe to all the outlets and follow us at SR Studios 2024. With that being said, we are mere minutes away. Let's go ahead and look at tonight's card. We know that Tommaso Ciampa looks to prove one-on-one that he's better than Jericho as the second gear goes one-on-one for the first time ever against the Cornerstone, the demo god, the influencer, the wizard, the former inaugural AEW World Champion, the best in the world at what he does, Chris Jericho. And Jericho's family will likely be in attendance at this unique venue that is preferably his home away from home, as we are in an amphitheater along the beach. Konosuke, Takeshita, and Kyle Fletcher finally bring their family bad blood fallout forward here tonight for the AEW National Championship. The two men that started it all, defined by giving in to hate, will now look towards revenge and closure tonight with the AEW International Championship on the line. The women will take center stage in the most unique showcase AEW has to offer, where they bring everybody forward for an opportunity as we have another women's casino gauntlet match, this time for the first time this year. And of course, the winner of this match will receive a shot at Thekla for the AEW Women's World Championship at Redemption, as both Athena and Maya World beat both Rena of Stardom and Julia Hart of Triangle Madness, respectively, to earn the number 1 and number 2 spots. This match will continue as other women are brought in at random intervals until the first pinfall or submission is rendered, and that person will be Thekla's new number 1 contender, as these two might literally fight forever. And of course, in our main event, when everything is truly on the line, the devil once again takes on the god of professional wrestling. He is the second coming, the rising of the clear tonight, as Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, defends the AEW World Championship against Kenny by God Omega, where if Kenny loses, he will never, ever be able to challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again. Will Kenny Omega join the likes of Heyman and Page and Cody Rhodes? And will MJF once again prove that he is better than you and you know it as he looks towards the bruv, the Billy Goat Will Ospreay at Wembley? Or will Kenny Omega change the entire narrative? And will we see the cleaner versus the bruv instead at Wembley Stand? And will MJF be dethroned? It's a hurricane of action ahead tonight on AEW Dynamite at AEW Dynamite Beach Break, as we are merely seconds away, and I hope that everybody's going to enjoy the conversation, the reactions, the coverage, and the outlook. As it looks like, for now, I'm rolling solo with you guys. And, of course, the Big Bang Theory is about to take off my screen, so we will get ready to do things shortly. I imagine they're going to kick off probably with Ciampa and Jericho, considering how long it's been brewing. We're back in Jericho's home turf. Not to mention, everyone loves to do this sing-along. But with that being said, everybody, let's freaking go! As we see Kenny Omega backstage with Michael Nakazawa and, of course, Renee Paquette, sporting his NJPW tracksuit. Speaking of New Japan, stay tuned with me and our Canadian friend Ash at Bad for Wrestling, give you a bad bracket breakdown and cover the first day of G1 Climax 36 this weekend, more likely as a retro watch-along. Kenny Omega saying this is it. Loaded question. I mean, how many times have we seen Kenny Omega's back up against the wall, though? Says that's where he's done his best work. Talking about when he was back in the Indies, not just Ring of Honor, New Japan, or AEW. That's why the Bucks aren't here tonight. That's why I got no other friends than Michael Nakazawa tonight. Oof. Did I go out? This is truly it? I can never hold it to go again. Then MJF will be willing to stick up my hands, shake yours, and say, job well done. We know it's not going to be that easy. 102 degrees out there in that ring. Of course, it's outdoor in Florida here this evening. Do you have what it takes in the inside? Can you dig deep enough to kill me in that ring tonight? And stomp on my last chance to accomplish my dream of headline the largest event in AEW history, of course, Wembley Stadium. Charles, good to see you. Matt Helms, good to see you. I'm doing very well tonight. Again, good to see everybody here across the Simply Reliable Studios platforms. And Omega saying he's ready this time. We're just going to have to wait and see. So until the main event, I must bid you adieu. And may the last times I may ever say it, goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang. A humble Kenny Omega determined in what truly is all or nothing to achieve the dream one more time in All Elite Wrestling to main event the biggest stage at Wembley Stand. And we go outdoors to Clearwater, Florida in the Bay Care Sound area here. Capacity crowd on hand, standing room only. As again, our main event tonight will be for the AEW World Championship. It's a party in Florida thanks to All Elite Wrestling. And we are all invited. This is going to be such a fun time. And I love this outdoor amphitheater look. Shout out to one of the Florida Horsemen of No DQ out there, by the way. And it looks like we are going to kick things off as the sun begins to settle, as the shadow tells a story with the Psycho Killer Tommaso Ciampa and Jericho. Love the outdoor beach aesthetic, by the way. If this is the closest thing that I get bashed at the beach in AEW, I'll take it. And this might be the closest Tommaso Ciampa ever gets to saying and proving that he's better than Jericho. Shout out to the official for this contest, the ever integral Aubrey Edwards. Tommaso Ciampa, of course, former TNT champion, came into AEW and won that title in his very first title chance in less than one match, might I add, his debut match against, of course, Mark Briscoe, and has targeted now Chris Jericho since Jericho's return and the fall from Double or Nothing. Again, folks, still to come tonight, International Championship on the line. We also know we have a Women's Gauntlet match, and the Workhorsemen will go to work against Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley, as Will Ospreay has a ton on his mind. We also will get a special interviewer tonight with Bang Bang Mick Foley. And Jericho right now might want to watch his back as Ciampa might be waiting for him at the entranceway looking to spoil his homecoming. Well, Florida, see it for Jericho because you might not get a chance to. I don't think Jericho knows that Ciampa's waiting for him on the outside of that LED board. Just off the side of the entranceway. Now, wait a minute. It looks like Jericho might have been scouting more than I thought as Jericho's coming in from behind from ringside area. But clearly, Jericho not his first rodeo. Here we go! Jericho, of course, coming in with that heavily bandaged left arm after the assault by Tommaso Ciampa when he left him battered, bruised, and bloodied against those steel ring steps recently on Collision. As we're kicking things off hot here tonight with a beach brawl as they're literally brawling in the sand on the stage. And, of course, the music's still playing. Jericho hooking up Ciampa. Oh, gosh! Suplex on that beach chair. I guess either way, he was going to make sure that the homecoming crowd was going to get their Judas sing-along. Of course, probably his wife is there as well in attendance. And Chris Jericho, many who have deemed master of character reinvention now for the better part of over 3 decades at 50-plus years of age, a cornerstone of all elite wrestling, particularly bringing us originals such as Mimosa Mayhem and the Stay M Stampede. Former FTW champion, former Rivera World champion. And, of course, former IWGP Intercontinental Champion. And bravo, by the way, Clearwater, Florida. As this match technically has not officially begun because the two men are fighting on the outside here. It just goes to show how escalated this feud's gotten when it comes to the level of violence. By the way, I will say that Jericho is not dressed up now as the painkiller as he sends Ciampa back inside the ring to inflict more pain. The bell is officially rung and this match is underway. Shout everybody out there in just tank tops and shorts. Sorry, folks. You'll never see me like that. I just can't be more casual than I am right now. If I was in Florida, I'd probably be the guy from Burn Notice in the freaking sunglasses and beige suit. About to say, getting sand in your trunks, though, that's just going to be an uncomfortable way for your entire night. And, of course, AEW is the talk on the S. You can be part of the conversation. Use the hashtag AEW Dynamite, but also use the tag at SR Studio 24 to let people know what we do here for all the bigger specials, PLEs, pay-per-views, and, of course, other forms of higher-level entertainment across all brands and all things wrestling. Is a midsection, double leg takedown. Jericho possibly looking for the walls here, trying to turn Ciampa over. Ciampa flailing though, and finds his way to the bottom rope. And Psycho Killer, of course, former Blackheart of NXT, Black and Gold, not too far away from Clearwater, Florida, of course, where he always has his moment with Goldie as the NXT champion. And now Jericho on the top rope, high axe handle, throwing his body to the wind and caution with it. And shout out to Taz, Excalibur, and Toy Giovanni, all on commentary at ringside. And right now, crazy start is expected here, considering how heated, pun intended, these two rivals are. Darren, good to see you as well. Always appreciate all the faithful here, not in the All Elite Fleet only, but also in SR Studio 24, that far watch-alongs, as Ciampa just rung Jericho's bell with that draping DDT. We've seen all the damage that Chris Jericho has taken on his head and neck at the expense of Tommaso Ciampa, particularly against the steel ring steps, and of course, that flying knee strike. It just baffles me how long Ciampa's been waiting for this, considering he waited for Jericho to return, but he waited particularly for Double or Nothing to be done with Ricochet. Bang! Big knee strike laying Jericho out on the apron here. Jericho right now seeing stars in broad daylight as Ciampa looks to show that he was always better than Jericho. Yeah, Ciampa right now just literally gloating to the audience. Go figure. And of course, you all can continue to follow AEW, and you can find it in a city near you, Las Vegas, Detroit, Michigan, coming up here soon. Of course, Scotland when they go across the pond. And of course, the Cathedral of Football become the Cathedral of Professional Wrestling when we stand. And we will also see a Ticket to the Extreme when Ring of Honor presents Death Before Dishonor at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh, man, Death Fight, Drown on the Apron by Jericho and Ciampa. Now rearranging man's spine. And of course, we know that Ciampa came back from that devastating neck surgery that allowed him, of course, to return home to NXT to try and reclaim his moment. Both men are going to go all out here tonight as once again AEW goes all out in Chicago, Illinois, Saturday, September 26th. And of course, folks, all these premium specials for AEW will be part of the Simply Reliable Studios watch along schedule. So please stay tuned further with us if you enjoy us covering content for all Elite Wrestling and more. And of course, Ciampa, quite toned here, very muscular. And Jericho, despite the fact he may not have the muscle tone, it's amazing how much Jericho can still bring it to the ring. And again, exposing a very vulnerable target here with that left arm. Might be looking for some punishment here, revenge on the top of the steel ring steps. I sense disaster. Trying to hook that arm possibly for a brainbuster maybe. And Ciampa and Jericho attacking each other's course right now. And again, because, oh man! Jericho driven into the corner of that square ring post. And now he's got Jericho set up. Double underhook. Uh-oh. And now, oh, man! Fairy tale ending face first on the steel ring steps. As the violence continues to escalate here in our opening cause night on Beach Break. As AEW Dynamite continues to look at the replay here. Fairy tale ending, double underhook, elevated. Gourd Buster face first on the top of those steel ring steps. And Tommaso Ciampa, shout out to Mr. NXT, that faithful fan, as of course, Ciampa right now looking to take his moment in blood as Jericho is a bleeding Sith. You see the first time right now, I'm sure not the last time that we're going to see blood here, as Jericho is bleeding profusely and Ciampa teeing off like a shark that sees his prey in the water. And Aubrey calling for a clean break here, trying to control the cycle killer. And of course, Taz, of course, probably no love lost between him and Jericho here regarding what happened with him and his son, and also all the way back in ECW. As this match continues, the wrestler Clark for Voucher on Picture, Fuck Television. Stay tuned with us here, folks, tonight on AEW Dynamite. Good grief. And it looks like JJ decided to join the fray or just be producer man. Either way, shout out to my wrestling JJ Williams. Subscribe to my cast to the 18 Studios. JJ, how are you this evening?
I'm doing well. Just got done doing the Major Push Wrestling podcast with Papa Gino. Nice. And yeah, I'm just gonna be here, be your producer guy tonight. You know, I do have it on my television screen, but you know, you do a good enough job. Joey Styles is in it, but I'll come in for the Fuck Television commercial breaks and whatnot, you know.
I don't blame you for that at all. And I mean, can you blame Ciampa for maybe how long he's been waiting for this moment to prove that he's better than arguably one of the greatest GOATs of all time when it comes to longevity and character reinvention, that being Chris Jericho?
No, absolutely not. I love this rebirth in Ciampa's career since coming to AEW, and Jericho, you know, who's busted open now, you know, here in the commercial break picture-in-picture, but Jericho seems to have turned a corner here with his AEW presentation as well. After being a heel for so damn long and being shoved down everybody's throat, it seems like fans are genuinely happy to see him compete again.
Well,
and I'm here for it.
Time, you know, some of the heart.
I've been a fan of the Ayatollah of rock and rolla for many years.
Come on, baby! Sorry.
Since you were once a wee lad, I've been a fan of his.
Fair enough. I remember
because you were born what, 92, 93?
I was born in 1992, exactly.
So yeah, I've been a fan of his since you were about 7 years old.
Well, there you go, folks. You guys do the math. Thanks, JD. Bloody hell.
Hey, as old as you felt off that comment, imagine how old I feel considering I'll be 50 next month.
And that just means you're just 50 years wiser than most of this generation that hasn't been conceived yet or already has been conceived. What? But nonetheless, respect. And of course, Jericho, who's over 50 plus years of age, has already been involved in this business for over 30 plus damn years. Wrote a book about it, by the way. Over 3+ years of constant reinvention and longevity to this man's career that has held a title in every company he's been in, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And I've read his first couple of books. I don't think I read anything after Undisputed. I forget what
Fair
the third book was called, but I know I read A Lion's Tale and Undisputed.
I'm about to say, of course, Mr. Lionheart himself and Ciampa right now looking to be the Ayatollah Rock and Lola, just flexing against Jericho here, just adding further proverbial salt to the wound, or sand in this case. I love the outdoor aesthetic, by the way, of this amphitheater and flood. As we are back here tonight, AEW Dynamite, and JJ, I'll definitely be chatting with you throughout the night. Thank you as always, my friend. God bless you and appreciate you. Knifefish Chop here as our opening contest continues. A very heated, violent battle ensuing. Rising knee strike between Jericho and Ciampa. As, of course, Jericho has been basically in the passenger seat ever since the fairy tale ending. Ciampa delivered on the still ring staff. Now, both these men just teeing off each other's chests like chopped liver. Ironic considering Ciampa literally beat Beef in less than 2 minutes recently on Collision to send a message at the expense of Tony Giovanni, yelling out Tommaso Ciampa is better than Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho doing the same thing in kind. A battle on upsmanship in and out of the ring and on the mic. And things really escalated, of course, in Cincinnati after Jericho called Tommaso Ciampa Tommy. And right now, Jericho mounting Ciampa in the corner, just teeing off here on the top rope. But Jericho's leg grabbed by Ciampa. Uh-oh. Oh, boy, this could be bad. Not out there off the second with an airing crash. That gotta get covered with the nearly back plus kick out at 2.5 by Jericho. Jeez. You can see the sweat profusely on the bald head of Tommaso Ciampa here. It is a red-hot day down there in Clearwater, Florida. Pretty hot up here in the Midwest, by the way, near freaking 80-some-odd degrees. And, of course, you can see also they're in an outdoor venue, an outdoor amphitheater here in St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida. And one of those rare things.
Currently 95 here in SoCal.
There you go. Good Lord Almighty. Then again, in California, that's probably normal in some parts. Then again, in the south versus the north, probably a different story depending on the climate and the type of year. Up kick by Ciampa, pushing Jericho up, looking for the walls. Now Ciampa grabbing the legs of Jericho, possibly looking to turn him over into his own walls. How much of a hubris would it be for Ciampa? Oh, wait a minute, with the head. It's a cradle. It's a cradle. Barely got him there with a 2 count. What sort of hubris would that mean for Jericho? Ciampa beat him with his own move. And again, Jericho beat to the punch, or boot this time. Big right hand, though. Of course, Jericho discipline in the Heart Dungeon. Last graduate, of course, of Once Too Hard. Big hurricane run out of the corner. Sends Ciampa crashing down and flying the opposite side of the ring. Get to the midsection again. He still got it, folks. Hoists it up. Big brain buster. And now Jericho with the cover, center of the ring, and Ciampa gets the shoulder up at 2. Able to kick out again. I didn't think Ciampa still had that left in him. Then again, when you figure about this guy's story and the shadow that, of course, tells that story, as you see, of course, capacity crowd standing room only and seated on hand here in this unique amphitheater. Shout out again to one of the Florida Horsemen, No DQ, that is there live. Hope he's having a great time. As, of course, as you lose more blood, you also lose consciousness. You also lose balance. You also lose coordination. And both these men right now feeling the heat of this battle and probably the weather on their knees, just teeing off here, just trying to find another reserve in each other, if not themselves. And both these men will back to their feet again. Jericho trying to get the better of Ciampa here. Jericho, who endured a chop fest against the likes of Tommaso to the point his chest was split open. And wait, what is Ciampa doing here? Grabbing a bucket. Can't use that. We'll get the squad by. Oh, codebreaker! Counted into the codebreaker inadvertently with the bucket in play in the middle. And now we got a little bit of a sand across the AEW logo here. Jericho in the cover, hit the far leg, and gets a 2 count again on Ciampa. As Ciampa once again finds a way to beat the referee's count. I thought the sand's supposed to stay outside the ring and on the beach, not inside. And of course, an almost, disqualification there for Ciampa. Again, pushing the rules to the absolute limits. Face first bulldog in the sand goes Ciampa. Now Jericho might be looking to hit Ciampa with the padded second rope line. Oh, but Ciampa gets out of the way. Bang! Ciampa with the running knee. And Jericho just fends up and hits another knee. And Ciampa with the cover. With the far leg. 2 shots. Gets a 2 count only. Great resilience by Chris Jericho. Whoa. Oh, this might work, though. Bone-on-bone impact the same way he put down Mark Briscoe to seize the TNT title. Ciampa seeing red, looking to connect Jericho. Stopping the knee, though. Now, once again, grabbing Ciampa's legs. Finally turning him over. Looking at... Oh, the Jericho might be fully applied. By the originator, close to the center of the ring. Ciampa looking for any sort of reprieve that he could find. And grabbing that bucket again. Aubrey Edwards, though, trying to seize the bucket from Ciampa. Oh, and grabs the sand in the ring and throws it in Jericho's eyes behind the referee's back. Another running knee strike connects. Exposed cover, and Ciampa beats Jericho. A literal messy way to the finish. It wasn't pretty, but it was damn sure effective. Ciampa has just pinned Jericho here at Beach Break, the inaugural AEW World Champion, the biggest win so far in Ciampa's young WWE career, and arguably for Ciampa, the biggest win in his longevity of his career. Jericho literally blinded by both blood and sand. No way, man. It doesn't look like Ciampa's done yet here. Seizing a chair right now. Come on, Ciampa. What does this need to prove? All right, you beat the man. The man can't say, oh, gosh. Over the head with a steel chair shot. It is long and far, and it is gone. Yeah, clearly Ciampa does not give a damn that he won the match only. He wanted to make sure that he had a little bit more insult as insurance. Letting Jericho know, not only did I beat you, I outsmarted you. And for a man that has had such a high ring IQ for this business, for Ciampa to beat Jericho like that, oh no, what in the world is that? What in the hell? That's a tool bag. And Ciampa right now, oh dear God. Oh, the power drill. Okay, someone needs to get out of here right now and restrain this man. Security! He tried to drill this man's head prior to that, I'm just saying! And right now we got a wall of security standing between Ciampa and Jericho, faithfully, as it looked like Ciampa wanted to literally drill in Jericho's head, and Jericho's not even moving right now. Freaking cycle killer running rampant here in Florida. Ciampa right now with dangerous, evil, devious intentions. Looking to drill in, literally, the fact that he beat Jericho tonight. How about a way to deflate the crowd as he deflates that floaty. Thank goodness the security team intervened. Well, still the count down. You thought that was heated. Coming up next, the fall of a family. 2 brothers. The end of Takeshita. Konosuke Takeshita will defend the AEW National Championship against the protostar Kyle Fletcher. Up next on Beach Break. And let's go ahead and see what, of course, has brought us here forward to St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida. I gotta say, though, I gotta go to Florida one of these days. I've had many friends from church and even in my work that's like, you need to go down there and just walk across the sand and you see that beautiful Longtone beach. I wonder what has better beaches, Florida or California, but maybe that's a whole different conversation. Speaking of different conversations, there's been a whole different type of conversation going on as of late when it comes to the freaking warfare that happens at the pubs, particularly with the brawling birds who love to drink and fight. As we see Jamie Hayter, I'm a hater, and Alex Windsor right now having a pint or two and a little bit of a brawl with it as well. Or a Donnybrook in this case. I wouldn't expect anything less from these two freaking wild birds. Or brawling birds, excuse me. Stylish and, of course, effective. Wonder if I'm going to see them both in the casino gauntlet. Someone pick up the tab, by the way, and the barkeeper. As we got a full commercial break. Fuck television. Well, but for those that are wondering, by the way, I still don't drink. I'm still 99.7% straight edge, but Lula Russo is close to my heart, so I am full-blooded Italian. Well, JJ, what do you think about that? Ciampa not only outsmarted Jericho, he pinned him.
Good for Ciampa. I'm definitely a little bit surprised there, but I'm here for it.
I think several people are, but that also tells me this is only going to escalate from here because we all know when Jericho's pride is hurt, he doesn't leave it alone. And we also know when Ciampa has a target, he doesn't stop until he's finished with it. The man tried to drill the damn man's head with a power drill. I'm just saying.
At least it's creative.
Creative? That's suicidal.
I'm just saying, like, it's something we don't see every day, and creative is something we always criticize both companies for. So a power drill is at least creative,
Creative. Why not just
I'm not saying it's not. Hammer? I'm not saying it's not maniacal. I'm not saying it's not homicidal. I'm not saying it's not psychotic as the psycho killer is. But it's creative.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, as we got a commercial break again, thank you all for tuning in so much. Noah Foss, the regular wrestling JJ Williams. Of course, we are cornerstones here of what you've now come to see and know at the Simple Live Studio. So I thank you all for tuning into this special live watch along event. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Follow us on the X today at the Mothership, if you will, at SR Studios 2024 on the X. And again, if you want to dictate the conversation, super chat this gentleman's channel, Cast 18 Studios, or PayPal the Passions. It is truly as simple as that. Now, you have been very vocal, whether Beavis Butthead called the name what it is, or whether or not maybe a little bit more critical when it comes to the direction of one Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. Like I told you, since the inception of the Don Callis family that was birthed on Rampage out of a match of hate and proving hate to Don Callis that Konosuke and Kyle shared. Now we literally look towards the clock. Almost 2, maybe 3 years later, I think. And now we find both men at opposite ends, where one is not ruled by hate. They're ruled by humility and a love for this business, improving they are the strongest professional wrestling. And the other one right now has become truly the black heart of the Don Callis family, if not maybe the second black heart or cornerstone, since Don right now has a new maybe shiny toy with the Jet Kevin Knight. Talk more about that later. But what have you thought about this file with Takeshita and the fact that Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita now find themselves going one-on-one, once again, looking at themselves as opposites, and this time the AEW National Championship in the middle?
Well, first and foremost, it does break my heart to see Proto Shida at odds with each other.
Takeshita! And we go backstage with the bruv, who's far more cheeky than you because he's a Brit.
I'm not even there yet. I still have commercials. You're slightly ahead of me, but
that's all right. Just go ahead and talk. Let me know when you see it.
I love Konosuke. I love Fletcher. I thought Takeshita as a team worked well. Even though they were part of the Don Callis family, I now have the bruv backstage.
There we go. With the remarkable.
I hate to see him at odds, but I know they're going to have a 5-star banger here, which is what the AEW diehards and Meltzer and all are here tuned in every Wednesday night for, those 5-star bangers.
Well, I know
and at least to my biggest criticism, I know there's a little bit of story here in this match because of the fact that they were a team and under the same banner for so long. And, to your point, Kevin Knight is the shiny new golden goose. Is Kyle Fletcher going to end up getting overlooked for Kevin Knight, for Okada?
Beach.
Could they end up circling back in 6 months' time? And Fletcher ends up leaving the Don Callis family and realizing that Takeshita was right all along. Much in the same vein as to how, and I know you're not a big hip-hop guy, but bear with me, people in the chat may get it, but much in the same vein as the way that NWA broke up. Ice Cube saw the money was funny and he wasn't getting his fair share, and he left the group. And eventually, over time, Dr. Dre saw the same thing and ended up leaving. And then, The whole faction started to splinter. Could we see something similar here with the Don Callis family now that Takeshita has left in the Ice Cube role, if you will? Could the protostar Fletcher be the Dr. Dre to 6 months, a year down the line, realizes that Takeshita is right and end up following him? And then we see Protashta reunited come Forbidden Door or All In next year, or even sooner than that. There's definitely an underlying story going on here. And even more so than the 5-star classic banner they're going to have when we get there. That's what compels me the most. Meaning behind the match.
Well, Brian Danielson said it best, and I'll always disagree with you on this. When it comes to Brian Danielson eloquently putting it that the match itself can also tell a story. But what's also telling a story right now is the fact that Will Ospreay might be looking at MJF as his opponent for the AEW Championship, or as somebody who could have been the opponent for the AEW World Championship. As both these men share, okay, that wasn't wise. Oh, get to the midsection. Ospreay and MJF are feuding. We got to protect our main event tonight, and possibly our main event for Wembley. And these two can't wait to get their hands on each other. Could we be seeing what is to be foretold at All In, or could All In's narrative be changed tonight? MJF and Will Ospreay both instigating each other as everything is on the line for the main event Wembley stand tonight.
No, to that point about Brian Danielson, I do not disagree that you can tell a story within the confines of a match, but make me care about why they're in the ring together in the first place.
Well, 9 out of 10 times the AEW does that. And tonight's main event is no freaking exception to that. As again, MJF, who might be looking past Kenny Omega, still has to go one-on-one one more time with the cleaner. As we return center stage once again now to our next match, time for the AEW International Championship, the fallout of Protashta. Oh, boy. And, of course, the protostar Kevin Knight, returning in record time from a debilitating shoulder injury, was just medically cleared shortly after Double or Nothing, after the excommunication of the Alpha, Konosuke Takeshita, and how fitting he comes out wearing an Oni mask here, trying to be the demon to slay a newfound guardian angel, maybe in All Elite Wrestling, and has been on a 5-0 singles streak this year, by the way. And of course, Kyle Fletcher, as I said, Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita have shaped most of their AEW career, not only against each other, but literally off one another as mutual partners within the Don Callis family, quite literally as tag team partners. You go back all the way, of course, to Double or Nothing, where Konosuke finally proved that he was the stronger competitor, probably the strongest in Japan, maybe the strongest in the business, after being Kazuchika Okada and seizing the AEW International Championship. And I cannot wait to see this match. And I believe this will be their third ever singles encounter. And of course, wherever Konosuke goes, championships are synonymous with the former 5-time KOD champion. Of course, disciplined out at DDT Pro, stronger for New Japan Pro Wrestling, with his own Bushido and Honorable Code, now a 2-time AEW International Championship. As of course, like I said, Double or Nothing, Konosuke was able to regain that title once again. The inaugural time he won this championship was when, of course, Kyle Fletcher betrayed his former brother, Will Ospreay, and Konosuke was able to beat Will Ospreay and Ricochet in a triple threat match at Wrestle Dream before he lost it to Kenny Omega shortly at Revolution. We'll see how well these two know each other and how well these two may have finally learned how to outsmart, if not out-wrestle one another. For those that are wondering, their first encounter, by the way, was prior to AEW, back in 2020, in a different promotion in, of course, Kyle Fletcher's excursion turf, and we're going to be perfectly honest here, in jolly old England. First time, of course, these two faced each other was all the way back on Rampage, and that is when Kyle Fletcher truly channeled into his hate that brought him into what became the Don Callis family all the way back in 2023. And there you see, of course, is being held up, the AEW International Championship. Bell reigns, we are officially underway for this heated rematch. Practically 3 years in the making since their last singles encounter. Kyle Fletcher not even looking at Konosuke, just looking at the audience here at this amphitheater. And of course, people might also be watching AEW Dynamite on the Twix. So if you are, thank you for tuning in as well and supporting professional wrestling. Stiff Continental tie-up here right now between Kyle Fletcher, former TNT champion, as well as Ring of Honor World Television champion, multiply recognized tag team champion alongside Mark Davis, formerly part of Aussie Open and Will Ospreay's original United Empire. And Konosuke Takeshita, again, like I said, is currently 2-0 against Kyle Fletcher. 1-0 currently here in singles action in All Elite Wrestling. Don Callis right now. Again, the universal chant that follows the business. The most universally hated man in the business. Don Callis. F. Don Callis. I love it. Referee for this contest, by the way, Rick Knox. And of course, right now, AEW also joined tonight with Trix for an exclusive stream tonight of AEW Dynamite's Breach Break. And you can watch that also live on, looks like a Cash Nasty Gaming account here. Must be like a shared forum here, maybe for partnership to come. This side headlock right now. Takeshita throwing Kyle off the ropes. Big shoulder block here. This side headlock. They even budge that time. Konosuke Takeshita, by the way, folks, for those that are wondering, has been the international champion now since Double or Nothing, and is also still the current NWA World Television Champion. He's been champion now for 46 days with this title, and tonight will actually mark his fourth defense. He's already defended against Ricochet, Lee Johnson, and Daniel Garcia. And Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke right now just teeing off with these elbows, kick to the midsection, hoisting up Konosuke, possibly for that vertical drop brainbuster. Konosuke able to escape those. These men know each other so well. Maybe looking for Raging Fire, variation of the Falcon Arrow, swinging a miss, and looking for the half. Head and shoulder, back elbow strike. And these two know each other so well. Flyer to Takeshita line, wiping out Kyle Fletcher. The amazing athleticism and explosive nature of Konosuke never ceases to amaze me since he arrived here in Florida, ironically enough, during AEW Dart Days to grace the AEW stage, endorsed by one, of course, Kenny Omega. Irish whip reversal. The thing of the matter, though, the Don Callis family is not a family. It is literally a marketable asset to Don Callis until it doesn't freaking drive enough profit for him and his own narrative. As soon as somebody gets their own mindset, it's against Don Callis, and it's like, no, you're no longer good to me. You're fired. Or you're excommunicated, or you're freaking driven with a screwdriver in the head. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Konosuke Takeshita. I could very well see Kyle Fletcher being the next person in line. Andrade El Idolo right now on the blunt end of Don Callis' revenge. Of course, sticking it to the machine, Brian Cage. At the end of the day, Don Callis is in it for himself. Oh, man. Big right hand saying he's driven by results. Results, my. You're driven by your own selfish narrative. Face for the lariat, and Kyle Fletcher taking Konosuke down. Now Kyle on the move. Big running boot sends Konosuke to the outside. There with Kyle Fletcher. Big PK taking the Alpha down. And Kyle Fletcher get able to fool himself. And shout out to Bully Man. Hope that you are doing well. And of course, stay hydrated, folks, during the hot summer. Oh, man! World class elbow strike, knocking the water literally out of Kyle Fletcher's mouth. And the Alpha channeling his inner game here tonight. Look at the show why he's a wrestler of a different pedigree at the expense of Don Callis and the Don Callis family. And Lance Archer right now playing protector of Don Callis. They're about to say, Konosuke, you need to focus on the task at hand. Of course, Tiger joins his hands via pinfall submission inside the ring. And Konosuke squaring up Kyle against the ring post. And oh, no! Dodging out of the way of a lethal blow, and Kyle immediately on the attack, hyperextending that arm over the shoulder after that elbow. The bottom sucker joint collided with the steel ring post. Now hammerlocking the arm and planting Konosuke down on the apron. A smart strategy here being brought into play now by Kyle Fletcher, who's right now, his freaking potential might exceed his years, and now the ground and pound being put underway here, teeing off against Konosuke. Of course, we've seen these men previously challenged for the AEW Tag Team Championships, as well as, of course, AEW World Trios Championships. Kyle Fletcher, of course, a former AEW Trios champion alongside Dunk Solo Mark Davis, and Kazuchika Okada, as Okada instigated on this relationship, saying that I always was better, I always was here, I always was a champion, unlike Takeshita. and Proto Okada can both be champions. And I still think there's a deep, deep thought in me that Okada is using Kyle Fletcher to maybe get back at what he wants the most, and that's the AEW National title. I mean, hell, he held on to that ever since unifying it last year at All In against Kenny Omega in that unification match. And, of course, losing the Continental crown to Jon Moxley at the Continental Classic, where Nick got choked by Konosuke, and losing, as I said, the International Championship to Konosuke at Double or Nothing, now hyperextending the digits and the fingers again, hyperextending the arm, finding the vulnerability in the champion, going to work here, and Konosuke hooking out Kyle Fletcher for a vicious exploder. And Kyle sent to the outside of the ring, and of course, Konosuke Takeshita got disciplined by the likes of Jun Akiyama and wrote a thesis on the German suplex, as the Alpha might be looking to get ready to fly, going 0-100 for the other side of the ring. Over the top back on Halo! Going from broken to Takeshita might have broke himself and the Pro Star in the process. Can Konosuke put his path away once for all as this match rolls on at Beach Break? In Wrestler Clyde Peraza on picture. Fuck television. Oh, that arm's got to be screaming out in pain right now. And, of course, Konosuke is more predominantly stronger in his right arm. As we bring back the Renegade Wrestling, J.J. Williams. And again, J.J., like I talked about here, tip for tap, move for move, the in-ring IQ, the wherewithal, the knowledge of both these men on full display here tonight in this very heated battle. And I'm not just saying that because they're in Clearwater, Florida.
Right. No, it's been solid back and forth action between these two. And again, shout out to my popped into the chat. I know you acknowledged it a moment ago.
Of course, I always acknowledge those that are faithful.
Yeah. We saw the beach shots there during the last commercial break before we saw the Brawling Birds. I almost wonder if that's the beach that he goes to and surfs at on a regular basis, because let's not forget, they're in St. Pete, Clearwater. My dad being in St. Petersburg, Florida, currently as we speak. So he very easily could have gone to this show tonight. But I wonder if that beach they showed was the one that he goes to.
Well, right now I see Kyle Fletcher just went up and over into the front row, so some of them I just got a souvenir.
Right.
Great. The hyperextension of Konosuke Takeshita, rangy athlete. Again, still to come, so much more tonight. Maya World and Athena both won the number 1, number 2 spots this past Saturday on Collision. They will kick off this year's first Women's Casino Gauntlet match. The last one, of course, happening last year at All In, as this one has ramifications to challenge for the AEW Women's World Championship at Redemption. Big scoop slam there by Kyle Fletcher. And, of course, our main event tonight, so much on the line. The very main event of Wembley itself on the line, as Kenny Omega goes one-on-one for truly the last time ever to become the AEW World Champion against Maxwell Jacob Freeman, who's already excommunicated from that title picture, Cody Rhodes, and Heyman Adam Page permanently.
Hopefully this will be the only casino gauntlet for the women this year. If they're going to do another casino thing at All In, let them do the Casino Battle Royal, because we already had the men's one at Revolution. We know we'll probably get a casino gauntlet at All In for the men. Let this be the gauntlet for the women, and then let the women have a Casino Battle Royal at All In, and then the shtick is done for the year, you know.
And Kyle Fletcher might be done for after that massive superplex. We return back to the AEW Dynamite Beach Break. As you're looking for a break from Casino Gauntlet gimmicks, also versus Casino Battle Royals. Yes, folks, they're two different things. I will explain that later as we return here back to AEW Dynamite Beach Break for this heated contest for the AEW National Championship, as Kyle Fletcher sent down hard and far with that stalling drop. And both these men eye to eye, forehead for forehead here in the middle of the ring, squaring off here with closure in mind when it comes to Konosuke's past and the Don Callis family still trying to fight forward with that damaged right arm. And the elbow to the side of the head of Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher right now remaining firm in his stance. Really become a star of his own ever since joining the Don Callis family and channeling this hate that has led him, of course, to singles gold. Irish reverse on Konosuke. Flies, right into Kyle Fletcher. Super kick. Pinpoint, perfect timing by Kyle. Looking to follow through right now off the ropes. Sidestep, rebound, up and around. Bam! Thunder bomb! Separation created. What an exchange. And Don Callis right now jumped up to his feet off that exchange right now, trying to wheel his boy back into this match. Good grief. Referee right now starting his standing 10 count here. It's Kairos to the outside here. Again, great exchange. The sidestep, rebound into his own rotation of a blue thunder bomb. And right now we are at a stalemate. And again, goes back to the familiarity of 3 years tagging, training, eating, driving, dealing with Don Callis together, wrestling each other, wrestling together in multi-person matches as part of the Don Callis family. Now, Konosuke looking to hook up Kyle Fletcher for something devastating here on the apron. Dangerous territory. Kyle trying to counter. High stakes positioning here. And Konosuke maybe looking for the same way he took each other out. Of course, in Dev's door, that really escalated. There was a blue thunderbomb from the apron to the floor through a table that took both men out of the equation in that 12-man steel cage match. And now Kyle possibly looking for the Protostar Brainbuster on the apron. Konosuke able to escape it again. Dragon Sleeve position. Hooked up and in position, looking to trap the legs with the leverage of the ropes and hit Takeshita, bastard driver on the apron. He's not done yet. Wheelbarrow position. Wheelbarrow suplex follow-up. Good grief. Devastating offense by the AEW National Champion. And Don Callis in disbelief right now. He should know exactly what Konosuke is capable of and how dangerous of a threat he is. No longer under his control. Konosuke Takeshita, by the way, folks, is the 13th AEW International Champion, following, of course, Pac, Orange Cassidy, the likes of Will Ospreay, MJF, who Americanized that title, and, of course, Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. And again, still grabbing the right arm close to the inside of his body as the sun is setting in Clearwater, Florida here. I would love to attend a show like this, honestly. This is awesome. Now bringing Kyle Fletcher back inside, and Konosuke once again staying on the attack. Of course, this time limit is 60 minutes long. And both these men have shared an average one-on-one with each other in the previous matches, close to 20 minutes, up and around, and Konosuke hooked by Kyle Fletcher, looking to long arm in the corner, able to escape off the shoulder, and once again, hooking to Kyle, finds that Rana! Oh, man! And looking for it, and got caught, Tsunogo driver! Cover! 2! No! Check out 2.5! Full finish there by Kyle Fletcher, nearly capturing the championship. High angle Michinoku driver, hoisting Konosuke up as high as he could and dropped high on the back of his head and neck with Konosuke running in. Woof! Heated title bout here as again, still to come tonight, our main event regarding the AEW World Championship. But once again, it looks like we're in for another pay-per-view caliber night, as only you get sometimes with AEW Dynamite and these specials especially. 3 minutes, and Konosuke on the move again. Oh, God, I watched him out with a running lariat! I love a damn good running lariat. Pumping bomber shades of Shingo Takagi, one of his greatest rivals in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Or greater betters, of course, in Yota Tsuji with the Gene Blast. 2 men that have shaped the Alpha's career, particularly during his time in New Japan. Of course, Konosuke is triple contracted to New Japan, DDT, and AEW. But Kyle Fletcher immediately on the ascent. Look at Hubba Konosuke here. Might have been playing possum, possibly looking for that Protostar Brainbuster or Superplex. Big headbutt, though, creates separation. And Kyle on the run with the high kick. Connecting flush, and Konosuke perched on the top rope. Now Kyle looking to hook up Konosuke here. I sense disaster. And sunset flip, but Kyle Fletcher holding on to the top rope and bringed up high. Konosuke got him hooked up. Let's ride! If Takeshita can follow through with that power drive knee, I think we're in for entertainment here. And once again, Don Callis getting in the way, though. Oh, and creating a distraction. And Kyle on the move. Running kick connects, holds up Konosuke. Look at the Protostar Brainbuster again. And once again, both these men are in position. Breaks down the Alpha, hooking that arm, hooking the head again, hoists it up. Raging fire! Cover him, Konosuke! Cover him! Unable to go for the cover quickly as Kyle Fletcher given enough reprieve to try and roll his way to the corner. But Konosuke now falls in the cover, level press, and Kyle finds the rope to force the break in the last possible seconds. Whew. Smart move, smart in ring IQ. It's literally using the last reserves he had left to get that foot on the bottom rope. as the AEW International Championship hangs in the balance along with closure and revenge. And Konosuke was going for that pinfall immediately here. And again, right now the knee dropped down as he might be looking for that power drive knee, that KO shot, the same way that we saw Ciampa beat Jericho in opening contest tonight, squaring up Kyle Fletcher. Kyle, though, inside victory roll, cover 2, and Konosuke able to escape. And once again, both these men are position, now tied up, looking for maybe the backslide here in this exchange. Again, Takeshita readjusting his arms, though. Both men right now looking for that leverage. Roll through Kyle. Oh, PK to the right arm. Follow-up front kick to the jawline. Now hooking up Konosuke again for the Konosuke Brainbuster! Cover 2 in the title 2 and no, kick out 2.5. Unbelievable. And Don Collins can't believe it right now. It's Kyle once again on the move. Blind shot back of the head of Konosuke. And once again, hoisting up Konosuke on the top rope as he might be on the doorstep of bringing back gold home to the Don Callis family. Looking once again for that high-risk Protostar Brainbuster off the top turnbuckle. Same way he won the Ring of Honor Television Championship against Lee Johnson in their rematch. Oh, and connects on the top of Konosuke's head. That's got to be a breather back towards center. Cover. What's the far leg? Kyle Fletcher is the new AEW International Champion.
I think it's kind of dumb.
Wow. Kyle Fletcher bringing back gold home to the Don Callis family at the expense of the last person excommunicated, a man that has shaped and defined the Protostar's career for the last 3 years, leads to a brand new accomplishment for the Protostar. Kyle Fletcher has seized the AEW International title with that top rope Protostar Brainbuster. A phenomenal match, though, but what a freaking sour note when it comes to Konosuke Takeshita's new beginning and Kyle Fletcher's latest uprising. More gold for the Don Callis family. Kyle Fletcher, the new AEW International Champion. And that very well could be a sign of things to come tonight. We've seen one title change hands. Could we see another in our main event as Kenny Omega prepares to take on MJF for the final time? But still to come tonight, Women's Casino Gauntlet match. Maya World and Athena will kick fans up to see who challenge Figure the Redemption. And we have the Death Riders, of course, in tag team action against the Workhorsemen. As you see right now, the conglomeration and Mystico checking on Konosuke Takeshita. And, of course, Konosuke, still the work will not let up for him as he prepares this weekend for G1 Climax. But coming up next, right here in Clearwater, Florida, a special interview with Mick Foley. We'll see who he's interviewing when we come back from this commercial break as the AEW Dynamite Beach Break rolls on. Fuck television. Wow, I didn't expect that result. I'll be damned. Kyle Fletcher did it.
Well, Charles actually makes a valid point. With Konosuke going to the G1, it makes sense for him to lose the title since he's not going to be around on TV consistently to defend it. So
that is the month-long marathon, to be fair. And of course, he is the reigning and defending G1 Climax champion. So actually, that makes a lot of sense. Of course, he won that only last year. He also, of course, won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So that does make sense in the long haul. And again, congratulations to pros like Kyle Fletcher. Now we'll see if Okada is truly happy, or does he believe that we should have a match together, for we are family. Not to mention Kyle Fletcher as being Okada not once, but twice in singles matches, back-to-back years in the Continental Classic. And I don't think Okada losing sits well with him, even with those that are supposed to be mutual to him. So let's see who Don Callis really puts his bank into. I'm just saying. But hey, congratulations to Konosuke and Kyle. Damn good match.
Yeah, definitely. And my dad commented on what I was asking earlier. Apparently Clearwater is north of his regular beach. So
well, there you go.
So that wasn't his beach we saw on TV. But Noah, you have somebody to assist you now with the commentary. Is one half of the Canadian Connection is here for the second half of the program.
Well, look at you showing up as if you're like a JR special. But hey, I'll take it. Ladies and gentlemen, one half of the Canadian Connection. You can call it whatever you want, whether it's the better half or the worse half. I'll let the audience decide. It's Nick. Nick, good to see you. How you feeling tonight with AEW Dynamite Beach Break, my friend?
The only thing worse than being the second half. You know what? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Good boy, because I will pull you considering, and granted, I know why you weren't there, but considering you flaked on us last night because you bumped your head and had a boo-boo, you know. Yeah, Nick wasn't there for our interview last night.
I had to miss it. I was, yeah.
So, I got to give him a little bit of crap on the air, especially considering how much he pushes for the Symphony Boys and everything. And we had, man, Sensei Wade and Student Cullen, it was a good interview. It was a solid interview. We only went about an hour 15 in comparison to some of our other interviews. A lot of that was because Nick wasn't there to ask a variety of other questions. Otherwise, we probably would have gone about an hour 45 like we did with Royal Prestige. But me and Walter had a nice chill interview with those guys, and Nick really missed out. And Royal Prestige, man, they got their karma back, man. They crashed the interview, showed Dragon Kai how it felt. Nick missed all of that action, but he's not missing the action that is All Elite Wrestling live from Clearwater Beach, Florida. As we come back, gentlemen, it is on you.
All right, well, figure for that, JJ, and also Nick. Ibuprofen is probably your best friend regarding that headache or migraine gets in Tylenol. Meanwhile, we got Mick Foley in the ring, and he knows a fair share or two about headaches and bumps and migraines and ibuprofen and wrestling. So let's see what jolly old Mick Foley has to say here tonight. Dressed, of course, in his best get-up for this unique Florida outdoor AEW level show.
I shudder to think what's going to happen right now.
Yeah, about to say. I mean, we'll see what happens here shortly. I imagine that we're going to get some words from the new AEW National Champion. Because Kyle definitely earned that. That's inside his head. Tonight, Bob would defeat his former best friend.
Yeah, this should be interesting to see what the there has to be somebody has to come out. Like, this is so weird.
Well, I mean, again, we got a title change here, so I expect there being new developments, especially considering, again, this is Beach Break, and I'm sure we're going to break more than waves here when it comes to championship runs and outlooks. As, of course, Kyle right now gloating about that he was always better than Konosuke as he brought this championship back home to Don Callis' family, and the audience boos. That Don Callis cutting up Mick Foley. Don Callis once again trying to command the stage.
Instead of feeling pain and
spotlight.
and happiness with every step I take.
Okay,
Those are
really
awesome.
gone.
That's wonderful.
His fucking shirt. Who is this guy? I like this.
Mick Foley.
I love him.
Somebody has to be coming out right now.
I fucking love this guy.
You disrespect me. This little lady.
Yeah, Mick Foley talking about those one of the finest scene, he means it. When you talk about one of the finest I've seen, he means it. Put the attention on his shoes. Well, I mean, to be fair, Don Callis knows a thing or two about weird shoes as well. Here we go with the metaphor.
Oh no.
This is a metaphor, folks. You're about to get a psychology lesson here that's about to embarrass Don Callis.
Oh no. I don't like where this is going.
With the inner confines of your ass, threatening to kick Don Callis' ass with that shoe. I'm for it. Do it.
Kyle, congratulations on becoming the new
Dave even summon him family man. And Don Callis has the international and the national champion. And he's got the Jet, Kevin Knight, the TNT champion. As look at this stern stare down with Kyle Fletcher and Mick Foley. It looks like Don Callis is bringing the jet to land inside the ring of the Don Callis family here. As right now, Don Callis has a fair share of gold in his control, including the TNT title. And let's not forget what happened last week, Nick, when one particular person was looking for not only chance of revenge, but for more glory in the TNT championship. Uh-oh. Kevin and I congratulating Kyle. I sense tension. Bringing back the Don Callis family more gold. Welcome to the club. It took you long. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. The moxie of Kevin Knight. Speaking of bringing gold to the Don Callis family.
Okay. I was scared. I thought we were going to get Adam Cole for some odd reason.
Nah. The only reason why he risked his life is because he wants that world title shot. Yeah? So Kevin Knight still putting his name out there to challenge the AEW world title, whether or not it's Kenny Omega or MJF. Because Jet 2 belts is on the way. Oh, well, there might be another man that disagrees with that idea. How you know? As, of course, another man that's communicating for the Don Callis family on his own choices. Andrade Alito, who already put down the machine, Brian Cage, and has definitely set his sights on the AEW world title, fulfilling a promise to himself that Don Callis was never going to fulfill for him. Nice four-piece suit, by the way. Man, this ring is full of so much talent. And the stage. And this company. Hungry for the AEW World Championship. Boom. It was the best of the Don Callis family. And you messed up. Yeah, well, not the first time Don Callis messed up in his life. You can go back all the way to TNA. No, I promise you. I'm going to take one belt from you. Oh.
I hate how he's just spamming the how you know.
Hey, you know what? If it works, go for it. Especially when you're Latino and you don't have to speak as much American. Apparently, Don Callis is saying you beat Jake Good, you can challenge Mark Davis for the AEW national title. Escucha, estúpido. Tranquilo. Of course, the original founder of Los Granables. I have one question. How you know? The audience seems to know. How you know? How you know? Whoa! Andrade asking the Don Callis family. Fouls might be a better word. Come on, Ben Diehards. There goes Kevin Knight, Jake Doyle, and freaking Mark Davis in hot pursuit. And now we just got Lance Archer and Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis. The ring has been cleared out of most of Don Callis, but we don't have a camera backstage, by the way. I have no idea what's happening. Oh, wait, there we go. Excuse me, Brian Case. That was the other guy. And well, uh-oh! Come on, your back! Darby Allin! Darby Allin! Oh, jeez, got clocked by Jake Doyle. Held back his hands on Kevin Knight. What's in that bag? I was about to say, last time that he messed with a bag, it was explosive. And right now, Brian Cage with that skateboard in hand. Oh, what the fuck? The skateboard exploded this time. And once again, Darby Allin. How you know? How you know? Andrade and Darby Allin with the double fix. Andrade with the detonator. And right now, Andrade and Darby Allin teaming up against the Don Callis family backstage, attacking Kevin and Jake Doyle out full brawl here at Beach Break. I love it. Apparently, Darby Allin and Andrade Idolo are choosing to align with each other against the same enemy. How you'll know? I think I know. And maybe Andrade knows a thing or two about explosive. I don't know. Oh man, that was funny.
I thought somebody was gonna come out and like, I don't know. It was a little bit underwhelming.
Well, I mean, again, we don't need to rush into things immediately when we know we got so much going on. Speaking of rushing things, let's all hit this shit! As the sun finally falls and the night sky brings forward the aerial assassin Will Ospreay and proverbially the newest Death Rider as we change gears now to tag team action. Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley teaming up once again, this time against the Workhorsemen. And as we saw, Jon Moxley christen Will Ospreay with that unique emblem saying, I don't give these out to just anybody, but with this, you can ride with us at any time. As Will Ospreay has punched his ticket 2 All In, winning this year's Owen Hart Foundation tournament against Swerve Strickland, and is only looking forward now to August 30th to achieve a dream, not just for a young boy, but for a country. But again, who will he face? Will it still be Maxwell Jacob Freeman? Could it be Kenny Omega? Could it be somebody else that changes the entire narrative to this equation between now and redemption? So many more questions yet to be determined, and still an answer to be found as we get ready for tag team match tonight on Beach Break with Will Ospreay. That sounds even more of an echo out there in that freaking amphitheater. Never for this contest, Bryce Rensburg, as we got a little bit of an exhibition here as the Brub taking no days off, continuing to push forward, and honestly continuing to discipline that reconditioned neck facing the Death Riders training after that new leash on life offered by Jon Moxley following the fallout from Dynasty. And I would argue that the Death Riders have really made Will Ospreay far better than he was before. Not just physically, but also mentally, because again, Jon Moxley says the body will give out on you, but if you fine-tune this will last a lifetime. As, of course, Jon Moxley still holds the AEW Continental Championship, and, of course, the lieutenant of the Death Riders in tow, the Problem, most lethal woman in professional wrestling, Marina Shafir, accompanies Jon Moxley into this amphitheater. Again, I love this freaking setting.
It's nice.
It's nice to have, wrestling. It's nice to have wrestling shows that actually don't look generically the same, and once in a while bring you a different aesthetic, both in their physical appearance and also the match card dynamic. And of course, the different aesthetic of dynamic that we've seen with Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley as a tag team. That was not on my 2026 bucket list or bingo card. But honestly, if Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay keep these winning ways up, they could be a formidable challengers towards maybe even the tag division here in AEW.
I mean, I don't think that's the case. However,
Verbally on paper, man, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm a little bit. So, I need to understand something, and
how you know
it's very off-putting how they're not. So, I get it. I think a conversation needs to be had about is the term babyface and heels, is that outgrown the wrestling business?
Well, you can find out more about that on Major Push Wrestling, hosted by Papa Gino. Follow him at Papa Gino 017. That might be a future topic to come on Major Push Wrestling. Of course, you can find that right here on YouTube. A proud, of course, friend and partner here, in my opinion, of the Simmons brand as part of Solo Studios as this tag team exhibition is underway. But the bottom line is this. The dynamic of the fans, the dynamic of respect versus perspective are two different opinions, I think, when it comes to what you see in that ring and what you believe you are seeing in that ring.
You're
and right now
right.
with Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley is definitely the proverbial blurring the lines between black and white. He's gray. He's the vigilante. He's literally the darkness and the light to AEW. And honestly, right now, he's that for Will Ospreay.
Well, no, I wasn't even saying that. I was saying more of, like, we get, like, I don't know, not that I need a clear definition, but I find it hard to believe how
Maybe that's by design, though, to be fair.
No, not. I find it hard to believe, and I don't understand why we haven't gotten a segment. Because if you watched Collision, we know, or we saw that the Death Riders, minus John and Will, attacked
Did you still up?
attacked the Bang Bang Gang and
Cajun Cole.
and Keisha Cole.
Nice
So
job.
I don't understand why we haven't gotten anything in regards to that, because we should have had a segment at least. Like I said, if is Will cool with what they're doing? Do they not see what they're doing? Like, I find it hard to believe that Will is okay with being in a group that does something like that.
Well, the fact of the matter is, Nick, again, he knows that he doesn't trust them, but he dang sure respects them, especially with all the work that they've done for him. And I think it also goes with this. Will Ospreay, he knows what he needs to focus on. And I think Jon Moxley wants him to focus on that. When it comes to the Death Riders, it might be an equal MO with the wrestling mentality, but I don't think what each one of them do necessarily has to affect the entire group or involve the entire group. Everyone is their own wrestler, their own man. Not to mention, Daniel Garcia still has bad blood against one Drew Maloney and New Japan Pro Wrestling. The Bang Bang Gang, who's trying to get back into the fray of this faction warfare, especially Switchblade Jay White, who was once a very huge pain to Jon Moxley. Not to mention, man, that Jon Moxley hasn't beaten in singles action. It could be a sign of things further to come. And of course, the Dogs, they still have bad blood, of course, going with the Bang Bang Gang, after Jay White proverbially cost David Finlay and Clark Connors a chance in the AEW Tag Team Championships. And what the freaking Death Riders are doing not only helps them in maybe pushing towards the AEW Tag Team Championships, but getting revenge against maybe even a different company and also proving that they're the strongest faction. I think that's a tale in itself. We can talk more about that during this Restaurant Quiet Picture in Picture, fuck television, as this tag match continues with Ospreay's in control. But the bottom line is this. I don't look at the Death Riders as a whole, thinking about what everybody's doing. I look at the Death Riders as individuals in what they do as a whole for All Elite Wrestling. And every one of them have their own reasons. Clearly, there's a reason against Cajun Cole and against the Bang Bang Gang. And if they could use a former ally that they used to work with in a tag match towards that narrative, I don't see why they wouldn't do it.
But if John is the de facto leader of the group, how is he?
This is my example, but I do see what you mean.
Regardless, he is the de facto leader of the Death Riders. So how is he okay? Like, I don't understand how. You're right. You're right. They, everybody's kind of different. They probably all have their MOs, but at the end of the day, Will being the good guy in all of this, and always,
big uppercut,
respecting others and kind of being that good guy in this situation. How is he okay with being affiliated with stuff like that? Like, I don't need an 8-minute I don't need an 8-minute story. I just need a simple hey, I saw what you guys did. I don't like that. This needs to change, kind of.
It's not that important to Will Ospreay. I wouldn't worry about it because right now he's stuck between two worlds of conflict, between the United Empire and the way they run business in New Japan, and also what he is working with in his pursuit of becoming the AEW World Champion. He once said backstage, sometimes you just gotta do stuff and you gotta work with stuff you just don't necessarily agree with. If it's going to be for your better, as you see right now, this is not for his better as Anthony works over that neck with that vicious neck crank and a stomp of the arm as everyone keeps talking about. Will Ospreay's fragile neck can actually carry forward. We got a full commercial break now. Again, fuck television. But I think it's one of those things that might be a suspension of disbelief, Nick, until it actually needs to be addressed. Like Jon Moxley said with Will Ospreay when this began, all I ask for is that we follow this through to the end. And there's a reason when it comes to Will Ospreay at the center of this has been Jon Moxley, Kenny Omega, and MJF. And until we see the end game with all four of these men, possibly one of those men that I just named here tonight, you're not going to get the answers that you're looking for. You might get teasers toward the answer you're looking for, since it's just about last week. But I would just say, let it play out and see what happens when we go all in and what carries forward to all out. Because all in is going to be a turning point, not just for Will Ospreay, but for the AEW World Championship. Period. As we got JJ on screen, and JJ, anything on your mind regarding how you'll know, or how you'll know about anything about the Don Callis family or Will Ospreay when it comes to the story and the dream that he's trying to achieve with the assistance of Jon Moxley here. Well, actually, we're back here in AEW Dynamite, but it's an exhibition tag match, so go ahead and lend your thoughts towards Nick's buffering brain, looking for a simple explanation in what might be a Da Vinci Code. It's still a sign of things to come as we are still bang shot Shining Wizard a month and 3 weeks away. Cover here by JD Drake. Gets a 2 count. Promo and Will Ospreay's chance at AEW World title.
No, I mean, I feel like Nick makes a valid point, but I also feel like they're doing a lot better job here recently with their television.
Yes.
You know, with bringing these story elements, that Nick and I have been craving to the forefront. I just say, you know, to your point, Noah, just give it a little bit of time. It's the first broadcast. We've still got a week and a half or a month and a half until we get to All In. We've still got a couple weeks till we get to Redemption. I'm sure we'll get something out of that, you know. I don't think they'll just completely ignore it.
It comes to John Moxley, MJF, Kenny Omega, and Will Ospreay in the AEW Championship. I don't think there's nothing to ignore about it. And right now, there's nothing to ignore with John Moxley in control here, mounting JD Drake in the corner, teeing off against the big man here, and taking a bite out of the head. That savage nature of this freaking Death Rider, 4-time AEW World Champion. Standing switch, Anthony Henry, Colin Crusher, out of nowhere. Great timing there by Moxley. Open pawn stride, though, by the heavier hand, JD Drake. Big brawling man, a big beef of a man, honestly. And Moxley going to the outside here, and apparently Moxley wants Maria Shafir to fire him up. All right, couple of slaps later, and John Moxley's like, okay, let's fucking kick ass. Then right now off the ropes, flies in with a lariat. JD Drake refuses to go down, and once again, Moxley on the move, trying to take down JD Drake, who still refuses to go down, but Moxley, relentless as always, knife edge chop, though. And now JD on the move, side step Ospreay, up and over. How the hell does he do that? Got him hooked. Step over one arm, gets the mid by John Moxley. And look at this synergy. Styles Clash pile driver connects. What teamwork by Ospreay and John Moxley. And once again, JD Drake, legal man. Paradigm shift. Paradigm blanks fall through. How about had insurance for the measure? And now John Moxley sits in the cover. And John Moxley and Will Ospreay win. In fine fashion. Ooh. Great victory here once again for John Moxley and Will Ospreay in their second back-to-back week going as a tag team as Will Ospreay look towards Wembley Stadium next month in London when we go all in once again for the third time in that unique venture. The Cathedral of Football being the host of professional wrestling, the Sanctuary of All Elite Wrestling once again. And again, folks, August 30th, we will be here covering that live at the Simply Reliable Studios. Stay tuned for that and so much more. And I also do wonder, with developments still yet to be known, still yet to be figured out our ass, who can go after John Moxley when it comes to that AEW Continental title? Will Ospreay has a lot to think about. And speaking of a lot to think about, you can think about the entire women's division as all the women will go across the Women's Casino Gauntlet match for a chance at Fecklin and the AEW Women's World Championship. Still to come tonight, of course, culminating in our main event. MJF goes one-on-one with Kenny Omega, what truly could be for the final time, because if Kenny Omega loses, he can never, ever challenge for the AEW World Championship ever again. This is the Cleaner's last chance to rise to the occasion.
Fantastic restaurants, beautiful beaches.
As of course, we saw the Shining Samurai Hikaru Shida say the best is Shida and proved it in the first ever AEW Survival of the Fittest match last week, accomplishing only what Chris Statlander has done besides her, holding both the AEW Women's World and the TBS Championship. It was a furious battle all the way down the stretch, and that six-way eliminator that came down to Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida, and a blind belt shot by a furious Persephone led to Chris Statlander incapacitated in Shida's new submission hold, and Shida shining and winning. As we'll wonder, of course, who will go after Shida first to become the face of TBS. And again, I want to thank everybody here for tuning in. All, wow, 100 plus of you that are tuning in, whether, of course, consistently, as always, for the first time, as we do this for the biggest shows, special PLEs, and pay-per-views across all of professional wrestling here, as we bring you our coverage tonight of AEW Dynamite Beach Break. As we go down to Justin Roberts for our next match, and it's time to determine, place your bets. Who will be the next challenger to the Tux Expires Madness and the AEW Women's World Championship? It is time for the first this year First time this year, the women's Casino Gauntlet match, where a winner will get a shot at redemption against Fekla, who looks like it's going to be joining us here to see who's going to be maybe her next victim in her web. After outlasting Starlight Kid in an incredible match at Forbidden Door and has been ensuing madness since being Chris Statler in a strap match, holding on to the AEW Women's World Championship, and of course this Wembley Stadium out of her mind, as of course, she right now will be set up to challenge Mercedes Moné if she makes it to All In August 30th. Legit badass women's champion of this business with a cold one, it looks like. Wait a minute, look at that woman up there in the high chair, Mercedes Moné, looking on from high down. The 2026, now two-time consecutive Owen Hart Edition tournament winner, and as I pointed out, Fekla and Mercedes Moné have never faced each other in their respective careers.
No, I think there's only one real true winner of this match. So we'll see when she comes in. I hope they give us some surprises.
Well, the Gauntlet, you never know who will come out, Nick. To your point, let's go ahead and remind people exactly what this match means. For those that don't know, Women's Casino Gauntlet match goes as follows. It starts with two women. Athena, of course, earned the #1 spot, beating Rena from Stardom, the Pink Devil, on Collision. And Maya World, who is Athena's best student, of course, beat Julia Hart to earn the #2 spot. Athena looks to turn to Athena Elite Wrestling, and Athena and Mercedes Moné both have ambitions to take over All Elite Wrestling. In this match, though, pinfall submission could happen at any time, as other women will come out one by one at random intervals. But the first pinfall submission officially ends the match and is the new number contender to the AEW Women's World Championship and will challenge Fekla for that title at Redemption. And that could be anybody at any number at any time. Could be as little as 5, even just these two. It could be as much as 21. And we have no idea who is in this or who else is coming out and when.
All I'm going to say real quick before I let you guys get back to your call, I want a t-shirt that says Athena Elite Wrestling. Damn it.
That would be a nice shirt.
All right, well, spend your money as you wish, but again, that's up to you. And Maya Word, of course, what she does entirely up to her after literally taking the Mercedes Moné to her absolute limits at Forbidden Door. Bell rings are underway. Referee Paul Turner calls for this contest. Of course, Maya Word beat Athena in the All Edition tournament to make it to Forbidden Door in the finals. As again, I said, these two know each other so damn well. Previous cover, crucifix, it's a 2 count. Previous challenger, of course, 2 Athenas. Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, the forever champion now, going almost Roman Reigns-esque style. Big elbow connects. And as I mentioned, of course, Maya Road, train out of Texas, train out of MPX. Of course, Athena, a lead trainer of that promotion. And these two have now shared the ring with each other underneath a capacity now. This will be their 4th time sharing the ring with one another in a singles encounter. As, of course, Maya Ward outlasted Athena in the proving ground 10 minutes to earn her shot at the Ring of Honor Women's World title. Failed to capture the championship. Tried again, survived with the fittest, failed there, but finally beat Athena one-on-one in the tournament. Covered by Athena, gets a 1 count here. I will say this right now, there is no way this is just ending with these two. I guarantee you that, folks. We've never seen these Casino Gauntlet matches end with the first 2 participants. It's literally a filling out process at this point. Oh, man. Big running kick. Running boot takes down Athena and Maya World right now, just trying to take control of Athena here as Fekla and Mercedes Moné watch from opposite ways. Big soldier suplex here by Maya World. Maya World, by the way, only involved in this business now for just 3 years. Springing it up. Springboard moonsault. Didn't connect with all, but flush though. Cover, hook on the far leg. It's a 1 count. We got 3 seconds away from entrant number 3 here. Again, we're in the intervals. Who's next? And these two right now, joining them, it's one little violent devil from the womb coming to us from Pro Wrestling E, by the way, and sporting a kendo stick. How fitting. Sky Blue, the antithesis of hardcore here in AEW, where the women fight.
I know, but why the fuck does she have a kendo stick? Like,
why the fuck would you not have a weapon to your advantage here in a match where there's no disqualification? Sky Blue right now, kick to the side of the head. For those that don't know, by the way, Sky Blue just came to us back from London and Pro Wrestling Eve. Oh, swing and a miss. Taking on the former Sammy J, known as Emerson J, in what became a Spirit of Eve match and won against the former Pro Wrestling Eve champion. And looking forward to going back to that promotion. Cover 2, count only. And even said, Eve, you will see me again in August, saying that she will be at Eve versus the World 2 next month ahead of Wembley Stadium. And if you all want to learn more about Pro Wrestling Eve, subscribe to the day on YouTube, the leading all-women's wrestling promotion in the United Kingdom. Big forearm smash there by Sky Blue. And Sky Blue, of course, who was eliminated by Maya World in the opening rounds, now hoisted up by Athena and legs planted against the side, the steel ring steps. As the Casino Gauntlet match continues forward, are we on the verge of Athena Elite Wrestling once again? Stay tuned, it's required picture-in-picture. Fuck television. And of course, Sky Blue, one of the many victims of Athena before she became the violent bringer of madness, part of Feckless Triangle of Madness. And honestly, before Sky Blue became violent, by the way. In the previous life, just a little Chicago Tom girl. Face first in the apron goes Athena and Maya World. Of course, fights can happen anywhere at any time, but pinfall submission has to happen inside the ring, just so people are aware. Hey, JJ, what's up, bruv?
Nothing, popping in during commercial like I have been.
Okay, well, we always appreciate you, as I appreciate everybody here, and I hope everyone appreciates not only the upcoming watch-alongs, but our various interviews, including the one that you had literally just recently, as of course, so much more to the come. Of course, back here tomorrow night, folks. Another watch-along will be here for you as we continue covering the Knockouts World Television Championship Tournament. I will be once again back on the call covering TNA Wrestling, and also stay tuned on demand at Batty for Wrestling as part of the Men's Brand exclusive with our Batty Bracket Breakdown that we will be recording some point tomorrow night for the G1 Climax 36 Chicago, and we will be covering that this weekend as a retro watch-along on Sunday. Stay tuned for that and so much more here at the Simply Reliable Studios. Thank you for that, JJ.
So what number do we think Willow Nightingale's coming out at?
Well, I mean, again, you don't know. Could be 7, could be 3, could be 5, could be 15. And
Yeah,
that's not a big 4.
I think it's a matter of how deep are we going in this, but I could see it being like a lucky number 7 situation.
I can see it. I can see it being like 9.
Big forearm smash by Sky Blue. And again,
right now we're
of
at
the
3,
essence as
right?
more bodies get in the ring here to your point. Now, Athena going for the cover on Maya World. Quick cover, and Sky Blue breaks it up. And of course, the more women that are involved here, the tougher it will be to render a decision. It was Athena that won last year's Women's Casino Gauntlet, though, at All In to get her first chance in the AEW Women's World Championship against timeless Toni Storm at Forbidden Door, and she lost via submission.
Yeah.
Sky Blue and Athena.
So I'll tell her I'll tell you guys she's not 4th.
No.
I'm about to say, have you seen the list of women in AEW? I'm just saying.
I was gonna say the women's roster in AEW is so deep. They literally could go like probably close to 30, like a Royal Rumble if they really wanted to.
Well, on record, JJ, the highest number for a women's Casino Gauntlet match has been close to 16 as we await entrant number 4 here tonight at Beach Break. Oh!
So they're actually going to... Okay, they just came back. I was going to say.
You want Nina as she sports the watermelon attire tonight. Of course, Mia Shirakawa, no stranger to Thekla. Previous victim, of course, of Thekla's AEW Women's World Championship run and Athena's Ring of Honor Championship run. In fact, Nina took on Athena last year at Before Dishonor in Philly. And we will be covering that here again, folks, this year at Before Dishonor next month at the Civil Apple Studios, up and around in Philadelphia. Nice takedown there on Athena by Mina. And a little shimmy here. You do not want to showboat in the ring like this, I'm just saying. Not when the circumstances are of this caliber. As again, on the line here, AEW brings us their first redemption from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Shut it, Nick. Sunday, July 26th. We'll be covering that here at Full Out Studios. All 4 women collide in the middle of the ring. And Athena, Maya and Nina isolate.
Why?
Entrance escape. Victory roll. Now Maya on the cover. 2. Nearly getting her there. Gets to the midsection. We've seen this new attitude of Mia Shirakawa ever since trying to find her murderer of her forever lover. Still yet to be known who murdered timeless Toni Storm, by the way. Big stun gun across the top rope there for Mina Shirakawa, former Wonder of Stardom champion. And right now, Mina up and over, slingshot, tornado, cover, hook up both legs, gets a 2 count, says Paul Turner. As we await entrant number 5 here in 5 seconds.
Which is
of course, are as random as the competitors here. Let's see who's next. And of course, you've seen lately since the Forbidden Door showcase, particularly this Joshi explosion as another familiar rival to both Thekla and Athena and Mina shows up. Young 19-year-old Rena, 1/3 of the twins. Even Mina's surprised by that one. I gotta admit, I'm surprised too. And of course,
This
Pink
is
Devil has already, Nick, if you're gonna just say this is stupid without any context, try and be smart or keep your mouth shut.
the
And right now,
context.
Rena
The
and Mina's
context
squaring off
is
here.
the context is with this is the fact that Forbidden Door is over. We just said how deep the women's roster is on AEW and even to an extent ROH. Why are we including Stardom?
Because you also got to consider there's an underlying story with the fact that Stardom probably still wants revenge against Thekla here. There's a little element for you. Considering what happened to Starlight Kid and Thekla still hates per Okada, and it wouldn't surprise if Okada tries to plant Stardom talent here. I'm calling it now. Hazuki shows up. Oh, man, she's got her teeth kicked out. Now Athena in the cover. 2 count only. Because there's more than just the AEW Women's World Championship hanging in the balance here. The opportunity for that. For Stardom, it's revenge against a person that has embarrassed their promotion. Terry Okada, I know, wants to get back at Thekla, and he might really use redemption to do it. Right now, Rena doing the right thing. Drop toe hold here. Of course, Rena, a finalist in last year's 5-star Grand Prix, will also be participating in this year's 5-star Grand Prix. Of course, Stardom's variation of the G1 Climax. Cover, sits in, hook of the near leg, and gets a 2 count. As we await our next entrant here in 3 seconds. In the Casino Gauntlet match. Oh, shit. Well, she wasn't number 2, but it looks like number 6 is just as pleasing as here comes the other half of the Sisters of Sin and the remaining point of the Triangle of Madness, Julia Hart. Coming in for battle with a weapon with a trash can lid, and of course, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Thekla make up the Triangle of Madness here. Julia Hart, former TBS champion. I don't believe she's never challenged, though, for the AEW Women's World Championship. Nice kick there, driving Athena forward. Almost a shotgun kick of sorts. I wonder what Thekla is enjoying on commentary. Is that like a orange mimosa with a strawberry in it? And then right now, Julia Hart asking the audience to get... What in the world is Julia Hart doing here?
I don't know, but this is weird.
Well, it is the Triangle of Madness. And swinging the chair and... Oh! What the hell?
We're just winging it at everybody. Like, what is this?
This is anarchy for the women, I guess. I don't know. But then again, Sky Blue, Julia Hart, I mean, are you going to argue with them, or are you just going to do what they say, Nick? Even if you're Canadian.
I'm going to argue, because they're not... The goal of the match is to win the match and pin somebody.
Maybe Fickle doesn't want anybody to win the match. You think about that? Maybe the plant's in at this point. Because think about it. To your point, Sky Blue and Julia Hart are assaulting everybody on the outside, including staff. It's unnecessary conduct. For all I know, Julia Hart and Sky Blue just eliminated themselves. As Walter has literally lost all control here. As the gauntlet match continues, as we try to install some law and order, fuck television. Who the hell is that they got hooked? Is that more staff members? Yeah, that's great. Oh, jeez, DDT.
They can't get disqualified. This is no DQ match. What do you mean?
Well, again, though, we need a winner inside the ring, right? We don't need to be attacking security and independent talent and Justin Roberts' fact that he's not wearing a belt and wearing shorts here. I'm just saying. Okay?
Noah, I love you, but I have to get this in.
Go for it.
I love the way that Sky Blue handles wood.
Okay, well, there's JJ's freaking innuendo coming up tonight, and that was JJ's moment. And right now we got 2 men inside the ring as again. Oh, hello, banging on a trash can. There goes Athena, Rain and Maya, Julia Hart. Okay, someone wants to buy here. And this match is not brought to you by freaking
JJ's robotic.
And Domare Gato. And right now, the Heart Lock might be in. Mina taking out Sky Blue, but Mina needs to be aware that a submission might be played in the middle of the ring. Of course, tap out or pinfall could happen anytime in this matchup.
Just because hockey takes
Good grief.
doesn't mean you're
I mean, you know what? We're not at the beach, but you know what? Like I said earlier, we had a brawl. Why not? Let the women brawl. Freaking Julia Hart hooking up Athena. DDT! Beautiful DDT by Julia Hart. And Cover, lateral press, and a 2 count.
Your favorite sports once we go live.
I mean, it's not often you see AEW let the women fight on the outside, outdoors. So, I mean, if they get the chance to, why the heck not? I mean, again, Chris Statlander, Sky Blue, they welcome a hardcore spirit here. And, of course, Chris Statlander, we know that she's got a hardcore revenge in store for Persephone, maybe even at Grand Slam if we're lucky. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
But fight, again, that's fine. You can brawl, but what the fuck? Why do you need to be like? I don't know. The point of the match is to win the match.
Well, why not isolate
win the
yourself?
match?
Why not isolate yourself with one opponent then? And for all we know, Sky Blue and Julia Hart cleared out the field. Well, Mina just dropped Julia Hart, so maybe I was wrong.
No,
and
they
Athena
didn't.
right now, the
They
only
beat
one.
up all the security guards. They didn't beat anybody up. They beat up fucking security jobbers.
Well, they wanted to make sure no one took their weapons, I guess. Or maybe they wanted to take weapons from them, including their belt and shirts. Julia Hart right now trapping Mina. And, of course, Fekla says she wants to face Sky Blue. Now covered by Athena. Gets a 2 count. I do wonder if Fekla actually does want to actually face one of her members of the Triangle of Madness yet, which she's actually never faced here in AEW. She's only worked with, might I add. She's never faced these two in any capacity. And Sky Blue has been very vocal about the point that she wants to represent AEW. She wants to be the face of this company. She wants to lead it forward. She's proud of this place, proud of this environment where she gets to be just a little bit of a hardcore bitch. As we are 8 seconds away from, I believe, I lost count, by the way, I think our 7th entrant here. We need somebody to literally clear this field and regain some control. Oh, wait a minute, that might work. The Thunder Rosa La Mera, of course, also a previous victim of Fekla, challenged Fekla, of course, for the AEW Women's World Championship in a Tijuana street fight. And a swing and a miss, get to the midsection. Big stunner by La Mera, and also, of course, coming off that great chance against Divine Dominion alongside CMLL's Olympia. Thunder Rosa also previously faced Athena, actually last year prior to All In, for that Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, to the point they almost dislocated each other's shoulders. And Thunder Rosa right now, the freshest of everyone here at ringside, as Nick right now falls to darkness, which, again, sometimes even I do that, and I don't mind. And Thunder Rosa on the move, and a big drop kick to the midsection of Sky Blue with a steel chair. Whew. And, of course, we see Mia Shirakawa and Thunder Rosa work together recently on Collision. Up in the Fireman's Carry, airplane spin to Julia Hart. Big Samoa drop. And congrats, by the way, to Thunder Rosa, of course, winning that award in San Diego, recognizing her. Wait, slap, entry roll on Maya World. Donald Stomp. And, of course, Thunder Rosa has a fair history of Maya World as well, down in Texas. Matchbook cover, and Rena breaks it up. Of course, several stars from Stardom are also on excursion right now in the States across multiple promotions, including MLW. Open palm strike there. And just teeing off here right now against Rena. And I don't think Rena's going to get the better of this exchange. That little pink devil up in the Fireman's Carry. And what's that? Oh, Ushigoroshi has swords over the knee. Neckbreaker combo, cover the lateral press, gets a 2 count, says Paul Turner. I can see Thunder Rosa also go, oh, face! And then I do it the same way she won last year, Mina with the save. Breaking it up, and of course, Mina was the victim of Athena last year with that old face. That led to Athena winning last year's Women's Gauntlet. Combination offense right now by Shirakawa.
2, 3,
whip, going out of the corner.
4.
Big stunner.
Okay.
And matchbook cover by Athena. Broken up by everybody. Oof. And right now, we await our next entrant here in 6 seconds. As again, it looks like no one right now is in the proverbial driver's seat. Let's see who else has in this crazy field of women. Hey!
All right, we can go ahead. Obviously,
you called it, and you called the number. Lucky day today. It's Willow Nightingale.
Was that 7?
That was 7. And Willow Nightingale is back.
She's 8. I missed it by 1. La Mera was 7.
Okay, I was trying to count that. So yeah, I was at 9.
Fletcher with a spine buster. Of course, Willow Nightingale got a vacate only the TBS Championship, but her top spot in the Owen due to that shoulder injury prior to that tournament. And right now, taking the triangle matters on 2-on-1, breaking the banner. And Willow Nightingale, of course, Mercedes Moné, you saw the angst on her face, considering she was not only the catapult to the CEO, she was also the downfall of the CEO, taking the most coveted prize, the TBS title. Cannonball the apron, wiping out the field. So nice to see Willow back. That brought a whole different spirit and mood to the amphitheater, except maybe Thekla. And now Athena, of course, who main evented with Willow Nightingale, power bomb on the apron for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship up in the 5-minute scary Death Hydra on the floor by the bed with the power. Former TBS champion 2 times over, and of course, inaugural AEW Women's World Tag Team champion. And you know Thekla definitely does not want to see Willow Nightingale face her. And right in the triangle, Madness working together, the Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, both victims of Willow Nightingale. Big thrust kick by Sky Blue. Sky on the move, Maya Will picking the legs out. And to Nick's and Jada's point, we are up to 8 women right now. It's a no-good driver on the floor. That might take Sky Blue out of the equation. Schoolgirl roll up by Julia Hart. Deep roll up, and Willow able to escape. Able to break free. And I wonder if Willow wants to face Mercedes. Let with the doctor. And Willow's number 1 contender. Willow Nightingale versus Thekla now at redemption for the AEW Women's World Championship. On July 26th in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. I almost wonder if Mercedes Moné has a preferred favorite. Someone she's already beaten, but someone that can actually beat her versus someone she's never faced before. Regardless, we now know what awaits July 26th in Montreal. From the Bell Center, Willow Nightingale will challenge Thekla for the AEW Women's World title. Toxic Spear! Had no chance. Didn't see that coming at all. Wait a minute! Divine Dominion attacking the Sisters of Sin. A little bit of payback, it looks like, or a message. Oh! Diana Cross and Megan Bayne making their own statement right now. It might get 2 matches made here tonight, honestly. And Willow Nightingale fighting off against Thekla right now. What the hell is happening here? That boot just turned her sideways. I don't think Divine Dominion has been attacked by Sisters of Sin, but also we know Sisters of Sin have targeted Divine Dominion, of course. Talking about they want the title. Oh, Mercedes from behind, woman out Thekla here. Look at this freaking stand of women right now in this division. And Mercedes Moné clacking Willow with the Owen Hart belts. Divine Dominion and Mercedes Moné, that's a scary scene at the top of AEW. I'm just saying. Well, either way, it's Willow Nightingale that will challenge Thekla now for the AEW Women's World Championship as Mercedes Moné just dropped both her potential opponents at All In, making sure that the conversation is all about her. Good grief. And I think Divine Dominion just picked their next victims. Well, that was interesting. Nonetheless, I'm very happy to see Willow back. And again, Sisters of Sin, they were involved inaugurally in the tournament, and they have clearly set their sets on the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships. And I guess Divine Dominion was tired of all their jaw jacking as of late and decided to send a message to those that think they can stand before them before they humbly bow down. I'm for it. That's all I got to say. I'm for it. Also, I love this women's division. But still, that side, Divine Dominion and the CEO standing tall, that's a scary trinity at the summit. I'm just saying.
So, sorry, JJ, did you want to say something before I was going to talk?
Go ahead and say what you need to say, Nick. I'm still getting my bearings back, you know.
I'm about to say, he just saw the freaking obelisk that is Megan Bayne and Lena Cross stand triumphant, but also Mercedes, and they stand in the ring. So he's at a crossroads right now. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay. I feel like you could have done this again. You could have done this. You didn't need a gauntlet match. We knew that she was coming back. This just feels a little bit lazy to me in the sense of Willow winning it. But the fact that now the Divine Dominion did what they did, and are they aligned with Mercedes?
I mean,
That makes this.
gold and power, glory and power. I'm just saying.
It makes it. I guess okay. I'll give it. I'll see what they do. I just again, I feel like you could have gotten here with a little bit more thought. The Gauntlet match, having Willow win it, felt a little bit. That doesn't feel like redemption to me. That feels like luck.
To be fair, Nick, you know AEW. There are those that may have never seen that type of match before. I may have just know that Willow Nightingale is a favorite here. So again, you got to look at it from both sides of the coin. But from an avid fan of AEW, I do understand what you mean because it felt like a foregone conclusion, much like what happened Monday night with someone else we'll talk about, I'm sure, shenanigans. The weekly Myrick Conference of Wrestling Madness you could stay tuned for. Wrestling JJ Williams. And then again, that might be water room talk because everyone kind of saw that coming from a mile away based on the circumstances. But anyway, I do see what you're saying, though. As we got a full commercial break, fuck television.
I'm going to jump in here because we say it here across the Simply Reliable studios all the time. Predictability is not always a bad
thing. Damn it.
You know, we saw this coming a mile away. I knew, you know, that if I had put every last dollar that I don't really have down on Willow Nightingale, I was probably going to come the fuck up. So the outcome may have been, you know, a no-brainer. Didn't stop me from getting emotional watching her win.
How can you not? Did you hear that pop for Willow Nightingale? We all love Willow. We all love Willow.
Yeah,
it's Willow time here at Zebba Studios.
Exactly. You know, whether you saw it coming or you didn't see it coming or it was predictable or it was a swerve is irrelevant. The reaction of the crowd shows that it was the right decision.
Amen, my brother, preach. At the end of the day, as long as the crowd is invested in it, that's what's most important at the end of the day for the company and the product.
And am I going to cry if / when she beats Thekla at Redemption? Probably so. Am I going to be pissed the fuck off when she loses it to Mercedes at All In? Hell yes, I am.
All right, look at this guy.
But it doesn't prevent me from having emotional attachment to the next matches in the storyline here, even though we more or less know the foregone conclusions.
You're right.
That's all you need to say.
No,
just like with your wife. Just like with your wife, all you got to say is you're right.
Yep, that's it. We're done. That's it. He said the two words, but the conversation's closed. So that being said, folks, thank you for tuning in so much to AEW Dynamite Beach Breaks. We continue to on studios. I hope you've enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. As again, we've had quite a fun night here tonight at AEW Dynamite. We started off with Ciampa beating. Go ahead, JJ.
At the end of the day, no, and I hate to step on you. Who else that was in that match was a viable, legitimate contender other than Athena?
Nobody, unless the fix was in with the Triangle of Madness. You kidding me? Nobody.
No, but I'm not saying the fact of Willow winning. That's fine. It was a good moment. I'm just saying I wish they would have done more to give us an even more emotional moment.
Okay. But if it's not about the moment, if it's a good thing that Willow won, stop trying to kill my buzz, fucker.
And that being said, both of you can try to calm yourselves down as we get ready now for our main event for the AEW World Championship. It is time for MJF versus the Cleaner, Kenny Omega. It's all or nothing for Omega tonight, for if he loses, he will never get a shot at the AEW World Championship ever again. All it hangs in the balance for the Cleaner to rise one last time tonight in Clearwater, Florida at Beach Break. In a night that we saw Tommaso Ciampa use sand and clever innovation to outsmart and out-wrestle Chris Jericho and pin him, we saw the rise of the protostar Kyle Fletcher defeat and dethrone Konosuke Takeshita and seize the AEW International title for the Don Callis family. Jungle Japan has re-signed officially to All Elite Wrestling. Willow Nightingale has returned and punched her ticket to redemption for the AEW Women's World Championship. There could be a shift of power in the women's division with Divine Domain and Mercedes Moné at the forefront of it. Will Ospreay and John Moxley continue to push forward to All in fine tag team cohesion? It all comes down to this now as you look towards the AEW World Championship, what Kenny Omega called Zack Sabre Jr. maybe being his road to redemption, back to that greatness to prove not only why he's the best, maybe in All Elite Wrestling, but that he can still go and can still be christened as what many fans have held him up to. A proven point to himself, a promise made at the beginning of the year. Kenny Omega rides one last time to take down the devil of professional wrestling, to prove once again why he's the god of pro wrestling, while seizing the AEW World Championship. It's Kenny Omega and MJF 3, and it's truly all or nothing. And people, of course, in the chat, again, figured there's over 300 plus you that are tuning in. Please subscribe, comment, tell a friend. I can see, of course, there are mixed opinions about who they believe may leave tonight with the AEW World Championship, as Maxwell Jacob Freeman has already excommunicated permanently Cody Rhodes and Heyman Adam Page from the championship equation, looking to add Kenny Omega's name to that portfolio, as the devil once again looks to prove that he is better than you, and you know it.
So I want to ask, just,
ahead,
before
Nick.
this match starts, the stipulation is Kenny needs to win the match. If Kenny wins the match, then we're good.
Generally speaking, if he doesn't win the title, I think the bottom line is he will never get a shot at the AEW World Championship ever again. If you're trying to yield this getting into disqualification, Nick, don't do that, because as far as I'm concerned, we need definitive decisions here. We need a finale when it comes to MJF pursuing the fact that he is better than Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega pursuing him. And of course, you see right for the contest, jumping Bryce Rensburg as Justin Roberts takes away with our introductions for our main event tonight at AEW Dynamite Beach Break. Let's take it back to the ring of Justin Roberts and get ready for this titanic clash. We're all in, hands in the balance. Oh boy.
Wow.
This is going to be good. Woo! Kenny Omega, of course, folks. Second comeback of life from diverticulitis on a 4-match winning streak. 42 years of age, 26 years involved in this game. Former AEW World Champion, has not held the world title, of course, since 2020 through November 2021.
What happens in the case of a time limit draw?
That I don't know either. And honestly, I feel like that he would ask for 5 more minutes, or MJF would say, you didn't beat me, you're out of the equation, pal. Because I think MJF's going to find every excuse possible outside disqualification to prove not only did I beat you, Kenny Omega, I gave you this last chance, and you blew it, pal.
But in that case, he wouldn't have lost either.
That's
he
what I
didn't
mean.
win the title, but he didn't lose the title.
Tag MJF and get me the answer later. I don't know right now. I'm not trying to figure about that. Because the bottom line, the last time these two had faced each other one-on-one on average, it's only been up to about 32 minutes on average.
If Kenny wins, I'm just looking at it again. I'm looking at it as more of a story thing. If Kenny wins, because we're so close to redemption, who have they built up to face Kenny at Montreal? That's the one part that I'm not liking.
Well, considering that we don't have Montreal until the 26th, they got weeks to do that. And again, you're trying to foretell a future or build a future that hasn't happened yet. Live in the present, man, and just focus on the fucking match. AEW Championships on the line. Referee Bryce Rensburg holding up the title. I hate people that try to foretell something that hasn't happened yet. We got no control, and we got to see what happens now. Live in the now. Worry about the later when it happens, because what happens now will determine what can happen later. And that's all that matters right now. So shut up and let the bell ring, and let's see who wins this fucking contest.
Let's do it.
About time you actually speak sense. And again,
Yeah,
we will
I mean,
stay with this match as
speak
long
with
as it
sense.
takes. Should it go above the TV time limit as well? As of course, we will hang with this in overtime if need be. As I said earlier, the last two encounters have gone an average of 30 minutes. So buckle up for this one, folks. And immediately, Kenny Omega and MJF starting out swinging. Oh, the throat thrust. And of course, MJF coming off that insane Death's Door 12-man steel cage. Not to mention successful defenses this year in his current runs this year as AEW World Champion against the likes of Brody King, Bandito, Kenny Omega, Darby Allin in regaining this title. Kevin Knight. Oh, man. Snapdragon, of course. And it's one of those things eventually that your opponent finally figures out your number. We saw how long it took for Kenny Omega to figure out Konosuke Okada. Looking for the one-wing angel and up and over. Hard landing to the floor. And Kenny Omega's legs crashing into the announce table. And shout out to my friend Stan in the chat. Good to see you. And you are right. He is sporting Kota Ibushi colors. Shout out, of course, to his golden lover. MJF, of course, 30 years of age, involved in this game 11 years. And as I talked about before, the longest reigning AEW World Champion in this company's history. And MJF immediately trying to run away, it looks like. And jumping the barricade and leaving through the crowd of Clearwater. He might be looking to do what Nick might be wondering about. And Kenny Omega in hot pursuit, considering what's on the line here. Again, there's no Young Bucks here tonight as well. Just Kenny Omega and literally the one corner man that's been by his side, conditioning him and preparing him, Michael Nakazawa. That's how important Kenny Omega is holding this. When MJF made that deal, and Kenny Omega accepted that deal from the devil. And about to say, we're in the 100 sections right now. Good grief. Getting a great look here at the All Elite Fleet. Standing room only in this amphitheater here. Security is going to have to be on high detail right now. And, of course, offer leniency is going to be offered here. Referee Bryce Rensburg following these two men as not only the AEW World Championship hangs in the balance, but very much the main event of Wembley Stadium. Will Ospreay, of course, who has shared pinfall losses and victories over both these men. Now, MJF trying to push fans out of the way here. And MJF will do everything he can to hold on to that title. I'm sure Kenny Omega will do more of the same, and MJF sticking it to the crowd as only he can. Freaking scumbag of the masses. I really wonder, though, the fact that Kenny Omega has everything weighing on him tonight. I wonder if MJF still has so much more weighing on him, considering that if he loses, that'll be the second time he would have lost the AEW World Championship this year, but he also will be out of Wembley Stadium. And driven through those chairs. 3 or 4 rows, courtesy of Kenny Omega there. Disposable lawn chairs. I mean, again, that still has to be rather uncomfortable, I would think. Kenny Omega, of course, coming off a great winning streak against the likes of Bad Dude Tito, Tony Nese, and Zack Sabre Jr. And the people, of course, who have defined Kenny Omega's career, his entire career when it comes to what he has held up to and the expectations of him, both as a wrestler and a human being. Former AAA Omega champion, IWGP heavyweight champion, IWGP United States champion, AEW National, World, and Tag Team champion. Basically completing the trifecta at one point before the Continental title, of course, was in existence. I'm not surprised at all, though, that MJF took it to the crowd, of course, because he always tries to get inside his opponent's head as much as he tries to get into the people's heads. And I also think, again, the fact that Kenny Omega just has a stronger mentality versus MJF, where I think MJF just still pretty much weighs on his own insecurities, driven up and over, back into the ringside area. And, of course, you see that heavily bandaged left leg of MJF. MJF, who has outlasted Texas Dev against him and Adam Page. 60-minute plus Iron Man match against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. 59 minutes and 58 seconds against Will Ospreay. And, of course, has also defeated Jon Moxley. In fact, he beat Jon Moxley for his first AEW World Championship. Looking to scramble for victory. Oh, and Bryce pulled in the way. MJF with a double A takedown, though, immediately taking advantage, creating an opportunity for himself. And MJF still right now on the attack. Now buying the pace of Kenny Omega. Again, the desperation of that devil's ugly mug. Whereas MJF's new world was brought back to life when he won that Fatal 4-Way last year at World's End to regain his Triple B for the second time. Telling everybody I'm going with Stan whether you like it or not. And of course, he was part of the inaugural All In, not only gaining the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships alongside his former Borchacho Adam Cole, but successfully retaining it in the main event. And previous time, we went All In, of course, in Wembley Stadium. He lost his AEW American Championship to Will Ospreay. And you know how bad he's looking to get that win back, as they are 1-1, especially in front of Ospreay's family, in hanging on to the AEW World Championship. And slingshot cutter! Shades of freaking Kazarian, but that one covered. 2 count only. Wow. Student of the game that's used many different opponents and teachers in his career to his own advantage. And there's a staple by Kazarian there, that slingshot into the cutter. Getting a 2 count there on Kenny Omega.
If I know this to the people, he deserves some respect. 3-time world champion.
And of course, Kenny Omega, as I said, previously was the longest reigning AEW World Champion before MJF, of course, beat him to hold on to that title and christened himself the longest reigning champion in their first encounter back in Canada, on Collision. Right now, MJF again, just literally being full of himself here. And again, I gotta wonder if MJF loses the title here, there is no redemption, there is no Wembley, and I don't think there's another second coming here. I don't think MJF can look at himself in the mirror if he loses the AEW Championship again, especially on the verge of main eventing against a man that, for all intents and purposes, he wants revenge against. And for what MJF's worth, he's got revenge against everybody that has beaten him at some point, including Mark Briscoe, by the way, which was the most recent defense on AEW Dynamite. Finally putting that redneck chicken man behind him once and for all. And Kenny Omega right now, again, who is 0-2 against MJF. Driving MJF into that high-rise chair. No lifeguard on duty here, though. Oh, wait a minute, Omega ascending that chair. Oh boy, might be looking to go for a picture perfect moonsault. Wipe it out, MJF.
And Omega, I think, knows he's in a great spot.
Take a look at the replay here, folks. You're watching along with me. And again, think of those that are watching along. We hope to see you tomorrow for our coverage of TNA Impact. And also this weekend, we cover G1 Climax 36 opening day, retro watch along style, this coming weekend. Mega potentially with sand in his eyes, though. Again, I don't know how wise that is. We saw how detrimental that was to Chris Jericho. Sand in the eyes and blood caused Chris Jericho to lose here. I got a sand-covered champion thrown back inside the ring. Mega going up to the top rope. Who said you can't bring the beach into a wrestling company? Sizing up MJF out of the corner. Missile dropkick back of the shoulder blades, driving MJF to the outside. You're saying it.
I mean, I won't lie. This is a really nice venue. Like, it's really interesting to see it. But it would have been actually pretty cool to see them actually do it like
along the beach.
On the beach.
Well, maybe that'd be next time. Because for the first time, we're seeing Beach Break actually alongside of Sunny Sunny. And like again, we're seeing Kenny Omega. Fly topic on Kilo. Wiping out MJF to the outside.
Hey, honey, you want to go to Montreal next month or in a few weeks?
Okay, cool. Didn't your wife get enough of wrestling experience with you when you went all out? And of course, we go all out this year once again in Chicago. As Kenny Omega looks to go all out tonight in his last chance to the AEW World Title. Beautiful tope con Kilo, clearing the top rope.
I mean, like, I really hope if Wrestle Dream does decide to be. When is Wrestle Dream again? That's in October.
I think that's usually in October. Kataro Cruncher! Yeah, usually that's the October pay-per-view. And Kenny Omega right now. Owie! Shota! The neckbreaker over the knee. Modified variations of the Ushigoroshi. Smart move by Kenny Omega. Obviously softening up the head and neck of MJF. Possibly for a V-trigger impact. Side it up in a drop toe hold. And Kenny Omega first across the second rope. Of course, Kenny Omega's own momentum sometimes his own worst enemy when his opponent can exploit that to their advantage. Omega right now trying to get back to his feet. Sidestep, rebound. Uh-oh, got him. Look. Snapdragon! Snapdragon suplex. That explosive nature. Oh! Kick to the midsection. Rising knee. MJF coming into the offense. Rolling elbow connects. Kenny Omega. Bang! V-trigger. MJF rebound the ropes. Went for the lariat. Now MJF and Kenny Omega on the move. Boatman on the move right now. What? God! Boatman climb out of the ring. And Boatman go down. Jeez. 0 to 100. Then back to 0 real damn quickly. AEW World Championship again hanging in the balance as Kenny Omega looks for redemption for MJF is 110% assurance to Wembley Stadium. And of course, crowd chanting right now. This is awesome. An AEW chants and dueling chants here for MJF and Kenny Omega. As I said before, these two men have defined AEW in their own way. Both AEW lifers, AEW day one players. Kenny Omega, of course, was involved inaugurally in the first pay-per-view main event of AEW at Double of 2019 with a loss against Chris Jericho. And again, backbreaker over the knee, power bomb. And MJF once again taking control of Kenny Omega, pausing for the package. Pile driver! Let press that might be it. Kick it to barely. Getting the shoulder up at 2.5.
Not sure what MJF's up to here.
And Kenny's been dropped hard down though and compressed on his vertebrae.
That table, that commentary table, I don't know, did it like move up during the break? Like,
I mean, it's had its fair share of bumps and bruises throughout the night. It wouldn't surprise me if it was slightly moved up forward, I guess, just to maybe keep things inside the ring. But I think it's always been like this close for the most part. Then again, we also had Don Callis and Lance Archer sitting out there too, so they probably had to, recommunicate some stuff. Yeah, this definitely looks like, wait a second. Uh-oh. And MJF removing the front. And again, for those that don't know, these tables, they're actually more reinforced. They actually fucking hurt. Moving the monitor and the microphones and that partition. What the hell is MJF thinking? Oh, no, please tell me he is not thinking what I think he's thinking.
I love it how I'm definitely way farther than you.
Yeah, well, that's just what happens on streams. But I look forward to your aftermath thoughts here, Nick, as always, as we appreciate you and the missus here. And again, folks, follow Nick Believe and follow the missus work. Big Ride Can by Kenny Omega as MJF is literally holding on by one can, and MJF right now getting back on the move. MJF, oh man, what the fuck? MJF crashed and burned off that flying knee trigger. Crashing through that announce table.
When you said that they're really sturdy, I'm like,
that was the definition of a wipeout. Will MJF lose Wembley Stadium opportunity? Stay tuned. This match continues. Wrestle Live picture, fuck television. Champion having a fucking sheet. Damn. That was one of the biggest car crashes I've seen lately in All Elite Wrestling through one of those damn tables. That V-trigger sent MJF flying off the apron and literally flying through the announce table, and his body just explodes through it. Can I make a wiping out maybe the sand in his eyes?
Yeah, he got sand in his eyeball.
Well, I mean, again, when you're fine on the beach, that's bound to happen. But is it worse in your eyes or in your trunks?
100% of every coffee purchase is donated to support.
Again, though, Kenny Omega is also giving MJF ample opportunity here to regroup. Both men right now, not even inside the ring, worse for wear.
Work days, game days.
And again, the fact that tonight we literally might be saying it's Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay at Wembley Stadium. How does that affect the entire outlook of All Elite Wrestling? Giving MJF a little bit of a refresher there. Jeez.
160,000 kilometers.
I almost do wonder, though, with the fact I've seen so many retirements, particularly in Stardom and New Japan, and of course, right now, other people that you think would be lifers forever for this business, or one company, etc. But Father Time does catch up with all of you, and I gotta consider Kenny Omega. Again, if he doesn't win tonight, what does the cleaner have left to give to us in this business, honestly?
But I don't know. He's got. He really got nothing. Like, I mean, you're not gonna.
Nothing left to prove.
There's too many singles titles for him to go after every single one, and quite frankly, I mean, I don't want to see him going after the TNT or the
Kill it. Come on, you can name them all, Nick. You can name them all.
I can't. There's too many to name. All of the other ones.
All the other ones. What a big pop out of an answer.
It's not my fault. They have 18 different titles that all kind of name the same. Like, I was gonna call it the All Atlantic title. I don't know why.
But it was first called the All Atlantic title.
I know.
So, I mean, you're not wrong again. And Pop was the inaugural champion. We got a brand new champion, Kyle Fletcher, tonight, and what's now Chris, and of course, the AEW International Championship. You're not wrong, but at the end of the day, if you're not here to be the top of the business, even if you were there before, and you can't get a chance again to be there, what more do you have to prove for yourself? Like, honestly, he's had quite a freaking career, and because the man's a made man. He needs to give nothing else to this business. Hell, he needed to give his own damn life at one point for this business. And it very well might be the same thing tonight. And welcome back to the AEW Dynamite, our main event as the AEW World Championship hangs in the balance. Both these men words for wear, the AEW World Championship and Wembley Stadium against Will Ospreay right now. Yet to be determined here between MJF and Kenny Omega. What is their third ever singles encounter? Last time these two faced each other, of course, back at Dynasty, took 38 minutes, and there is no announce table right now. That is literally the most wrecked announce table I've ever seen, I think. And Kenny Omega and MJF both been on the apron. Take a look, by the way, at this scene here with this bang! Flying leg kick, excuse me, not a V-trigger, that sent MJF flying through that announce table head first. Over the front of it, and of course that partition removed and literally crashing in a heap. Double punch strike there by MJF as both men on the apron. Dangerous territory. Might be looking for, oh, no. And Pod's looking for a one-wing angel on the apron, trying to hook MJF's head. MJF claiming he's the only man to ever kick out of it. And right now, MJF literally fighting for his own life, breaking the eyes of Kenny Omega. MJF still fighting, though. Got back inside and separation created between both men. That was just a definite measure there for MJF, and I don't blame him in the slightest. One-wing angel is one thing. One-wing angel on the apron, damn near might well put MJF in the injury shelf again. And knife edge chop. And of course, the first time they faced each other was back in 2023. And that match went also for about 30 damn minutes. These guys have had 2 half-hour clinics, respectively, in their AEW careers against each other. And that's how important this title and this chance is. Steamroller, and Kenny Omega almost lost his footing there on that. The fans again trying to will Kenny Omega here. What is his last chance as he climbs the barricade? Picture perfect moonsault, but it hits MJF's knees. Great scouting by the champion. Now, MJF again knows he can't use a steel chair here. That would yield him disqualification. At least by hand he can't. Oh, wait a minute. Might have other intentions in mind. Seeing a chair in front of him and driving Kenny Omega with a tombstone in his own knees into a seated chair. We've seen so many times that MJF will put his own knees, his own body on the line in championship matches, particularly. That's going to definitely probably haunt MJF the rest of this match here, especially with the fact that that left leg is nowhere near 100%. At one point, we were arguing whether or not MJF was actually injured. Of course, he's been dealing with that lingering leg injury. Try saying that 3 times fast, folks. Since Dynasty earlier this year when he faced Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship to defend it. And it's not been the same since. Now, MJF possibly looking for the Heat Seeker DDT the same way he put down Mark Briscoe, Ambrose Randy. Whoa! I took the leg there as Kenny Omega was able to escape. You see the way immediately how MJF grabs knee injury, but also is perched against the bottom rope. Kenny Omega, though, again, a lot taken out after that head on steel impact, unable to follow through with the V-trigger, and MJF unable to follow through on his knee. Sherman V-trigger! Scores face first! That knee on target. Once again, can Kenny Omega finish him? Hoisted up in the electric position. Hook up the head. Can he get it? And again, MJF still finding back. Turn down. German suplex. From MJF, I thought for a moment he was going to go for crunch wrap, but he couldn't hold on to the bridge. And again, Kenny Omega still pressing forward, but slow to follow through. Sees MJF in the corner. And bang! Big trigger blind shot back of the head. Using every possible thing he can in what truly is his last chance. Oh, man. Trying to hoist up dead weight and now perching MJF up on the top rope. Obviously looking for that leverage. And again, trying to hold on to that top turnbuckle to avoid falling off here. And Kenny Omega, oh boy, this is not going to end well. I've seen him do this before, the likes of Hiroshi Tanahashi. Nearly dropped the damn man on his freaking head. Oh boy, and MJF might literally be out of it. And also seeing this done to Speedball Mike Bailey and retaining the AEW National Championship in a triple threat at one point. Kenny Omega with MJF high up on the shoulders. Take around the corner. Omega drops high on the back of his head, and MJF hobbling forward, looking to follow through it again. Hook Omega. Second DDT. It might be over. It's a cover, and MJ, no! Somehow, someway, Kenny Omega still lives. That heat seeker have been many of opponents undoing during MJF's championship runs, but not Kenny Omega in his last chance for one last run tonight. Ridiculous poison run to take out of the corner. He literally blew his own damn knee in the process. And then crowning Kenny Omega with that draping DDT, that heat seeker, 2 and 9 attempts. Doing chants right now for Kenny Omega and MJF here in this capacity crowd at this amphitheater at Beach Break, where tidal waves could be in store for us of change if MJF loses what he covers most, that Triple B, the AEW World Championship. Now bringing the title from the timekeepers area, clearly trying to exploit it to his own advantage. At this point, he might be looking for the disqualification, much as I wrote Nick off earlier. Wouldn't be the first time I've ate crow from a Canadian. MJF, of course, the 18th AEW World Champion in this company's history. Fallen lineage, he's led by John Moxley, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, Chris Jericho, Swerve Strickland, Bryan Danielson, and, of course, Darby Allin. And wait a minute. And now bearing the 100K Dynamite Diamond Ring behind Bryce Rensburg's back, looking to square him up. And, oh, wait a minute. Now will Ospreay sees the ring. We saw that heated face-to-face earlier here tonight between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Now Kenny Omega with the Triple B in hand. He's got the title. Oh, wait a minute. Omega didn't pull the trigger on the smoking gun as Bryce Rensburg's distracted. Omega, oh, a low blow, and Ciampa might be his downfall, and MJF just crowned Kenny Omega with the title. Not like this. Cover, the King of One. What the hell? Look at the face of MJF. He can't fucking believe it. Look at the face of Ospreay. He can't fucking believe it. As MJF right now sees the two men that literally will defy the AEW World Championship. And Kenny Omega's asking MJF to bring it. And Will Ospreay now going to the backstage and sees in that ring. And again, Kenny Omega wants to do this the right way. Now going to his MMA background here, teeing off high and low against MJF. Closed fist. Backing MJF up against the ropes here. And kicks relentlessly against MJF's head. Just literally unleashing everything. And looking to follow through again. Bang! Big trigger! And Kenny Omega's not done! Second V trigger! Back-to-back succession. MJF left in a heap. And right now, Kenny Omega truly in the driver's seat. Might be looking for the trifecta following through. Bang! Third V trigger connects! 3 in a row in quick succession. MJF up in position. Kenny Omega, one wing angel cover. 2. Kenny Omega is the new AEW World Champion. He fucking did it. It's Omega versus Ospreay now at Wembley Stadium. Unfucking believable. A titanic shift in the all-elite wrestling landscape and the all-in main event picture as Kenny Omega finally rises over the devil and is the new AEW World Champion. Will Ospreay knew those tricks were coming from a mile away when it came to MJF's shenanigans, seizing the AEW World title and the 100K Dynamite Diamond Ring, and even Kenny Omega was figured about even trying to play the devil's game. But he refused to give in, and Kenny Omega is now all in as the AEW World Champion. And there you see the official graphic. Take a picture, folks. It will last a lifetime. It's Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay at All in London for the AEW World Championship. What a fucking main event that's ahead. I can't wait till August 30th now. What an incredible moment. What an incredible night as the Beach Break brings a new AEW World Champion to rise. Kenny Omega is once again on top of the world, and it's heading to Wembley Stadium. As Beach Break comes to a close, we bid you all thank you so much for the Seven Studios, and until the next time we see you in Kenny Omega fashion, I now bid you all a fine adieu. For Nick and the missus, the better half. For the bad guy wrestling JJ Williams, for all of you that tune in, I'm the Seminole Foster. Stay tuned for on-demand G1 Climax 36 Baddie Bracket Breakdown and our retro watch-along coverage this weekend. And of course, until next time, as always, make a positive impact in life. Have a good night. This has been AEW with the best wrestler, Kenny Omega, once again, season the AEW World title. We'll see you next time here at the Super Reliable Studios. Cut the fucking feed.